Don't waste your breath. Shit.
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? This? What you're fighting for? Here's my answer! A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come, if they dare, and pay with their lives! Let them see our anger! Feel our pride! Show them who Kimona really belongs to! I will fight for her until the end.
Break. Bulldog 7, Blue 1, troops in contact.
Welcome to the Arena Breakout Triathlon event, where creators will be pitted against one another to see who will become the Arena Breakout Iron Man. Players will engage in intense shootouts and looting with high stakes and high rewards. Survival is key, as escaping the combat area alive is the only path to victory. It's a game where shooting, looting, and strategic decision-making are crucial for success. Get ready to break out! We've assembled top FPS pros and creators from across the globe to compete in 3 different challenges. Each challenge will take place on a different map, and the goal will be to get in, obtain the required amount of loot, and extract. Challengers will have unlimited attempts within a 30-minute time limit. Failure on any maps gets marked as the full 30 minutes. The lowest combined time across all challenges wins. Challenges will feature creators as participants, and they can choose to compete individually, bring along friends for assistance, or form teams with anyone. There are no restrictions on loadout value, but anything they bring will not count towards the map goal. The first challenge takes place on the farm. Creators must navigate through the heavily patrolled fields and gather 100k coin worth of loot before extracting. The next challenge is in the Valley Blockade. Will they choose to break into the villas to find large amounts of loot and enemies, or stay on the outskirts and play it safe? Either way, challengers must snap 200k coin before breaking out. The final challenge will be held in the Armory. Challengers must be sure to do their reconnaissance here in order to remain efficient and find the exit to this potential death trap. This time, 300k coin is needed before your final evac. Heads up, any form of cheating is strictly prohibited. Keep your eyes on the battlefield to make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. Arena Breakout will be available on iOS and Android, so pre-register now.
Arena Breakout is like literally the first proper true next-gen mobile first-person shooter.
just overall, there's a lot of customability and just uniqueness that, like I said, we haven't seen in other types of shooters before.
What I like most about Arena Breakout is the healing system, how you're able to use painkillers, surgical kits, and adrenalines to treat yourself.
I'm an ex-military soldier, so being in that mindset again feels absolutely amazing.
It actually speaks a lot for how polished Arena Breakout is, because I don't play a lot of mobile games and stuff like that, and the fact that I was able to dive into this one of these, it was so comfortable.
Dude, we got him. Let's go.
And so just take that time to learn it all and just be patient with it, because you're not going to pick it up immediately, but once you do, it's going to be a blast.
Just go and play the game. You will die a lot, but that's how you learn things.
Take it a little bit slower than you would the other games, because, like I said, it's high risk, high reward.
This one got fucked up real bad. Hey, boss. Check this out.
Let me see that.
Body's so warm. They might be close.
Nice optics. Extraction port's 2 clicks ahead. Let's go, ladies.
Sniper!
Fuck is he?
Get down!
Sniper, second floor. Let's get that motherfucker.
Set! I'm out! Go, 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 go! Set!
Fuck! Oh shit, that was close.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Arena Breakout World FPS Triathlon. I am your host and caster, D Hitman, and I'm joined today by the lovely Mod 6. How you doing, my friend?
I'm excited, man. This is our third week, and at this point, we've had a chance to see about all the tactics and all of the choices that these teams could possibly make up to this point. And this is the Founders Night. These are the people with the most experience in the game so far. So we're here to see excellence. I'm interested to see if they can compete with the numbers we saw last week when we saw some pros hop in.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, this week should be way more exciting. I know the first week we're like, okay, this is cool, people are learning. And then last week was incredible, having a sub 6. Sorry, was it sub 7? No, sub 6 farm. That was probably one of the most insane. And then having a sub 5 in armory. Those extraction is going to be pretty hard to beat. And we saw, right? Like having an 8-minute extraction on average per map was pretty dang good. But Mod 6 is going to be a tough one today for these players. But if there's any players that can do it, I think these players can do it.
Yep, we've seen some smaller level competition, streamer events, and so we have had a chance to see a couple of these players demonstrate some excellence. And so we know there may be some favorites coming in here in the chat, and we're going to ask you throughout the stream to give us some answers. Who you think is going to win, who you think is going to do well on the next map. We've got questions for you, and when we ask those, whenever we're asking info from the chat, make sure you leave your Instagram handle in the chat with your answer. We have codes to give away. See those pop up on the screen throughout the stream, and you got to be quick. You got to get in the game. You got to put that code in. We're going to show you with some on-screen prompts how you put that code in here earlier. We're going to explain in a minute. We're going to explain everything to you, and then at the end, we will have a draw for 5 more codes in addition to those that we showed during the event.
Yeah, make sure to tune in the entire stream. You never know when they're going to pop up. I was told got more than last week. So let's go ahead and explain how you can claim your codes today. And then after that, we're going to explain the games and all the rule sets. So, gentlemen, it is quite simple. All you gotta do is click the little star, which is the event tab. Once you're there, you're gonna be able to hit that the third tab on the left side, hit the code redemption, and then hit the go. With the code that you received today, you're gonna be able to get some awesome loot that's gonna help you progress. Am I right, Mod 6?
Absolutely. These key codes, these CD keys, they will give you bundles of armor, of weapons, of ammo. These are the higher level pieces of gear that you need to get into some of the maps you will see players play on today. So when you see those codes pop up on your screen, get into the game, hit the events tab and redeem those, and then get a head start. Get into armory. Do the tactics you see these guys do today. We're going to see some excellence on the map today. Hitman, let's talk about the teams. The Found event, we have some all-stars today. For starting off, everybody knows who iStream is. If you play this game, you know iStream, and he is community. But iStream's got a ton of experience in the game. He knows the routes on and off maps like Armory very quickly. And then we have Fab TV. Now, Fab TV has been playing this since the beta. He comes from a Tarkov background, and we're going to get into some details about all of these players. We've got a couple more teams. Hitman, what do you think about the teams we've got today for Founders Night?
We also got Owen. He's an incredible FPS player who's played multiple games, but in Arena Breakout, he's very, very strong. And then our next player, I think, is the one that I have as a favorite, Sade. Oh my goodness. If you've ever watched this guy play, he's absolutely a mad monster. He is incredible. I've seen him popped off. Matter of fact, I think there was a mini tournament yesterday where he actually dominated. I'm sure you can tell me a little more about that, but we also are going to be talking about their teammates, and I think there's a team that looks pretty dang strong, Mod 6.
Yeah, listen, we've got a game here with 4-man teams, right? So we've mentioned iStream, Fab TV, Sade, IMO. All of these guys are the team captains, and their teammates are a huge factor in this event. Every time we've played this triathlon series, We note that the teammates, their communication, their ability to swap loot and get the right loot on the right person to qualify their extraction time, those teammates are a huge deal, and we see some recognizable names on the teams here, with Sade bringing Trashy, Monarch, and Wi-Fi to the table, an all-star team, most notably because we've seen these players, right? We know they have experience in the game. And then we've got IMO, iStream, and playing with people. They have got deep experience in these games. And this, also remember, these are players and teammates that have been playing with their team captains in other games as well. So a lot of team cohesion. I got a chance to for 5 hours a couple days ago with Fab TV and his second teammate Griddles, and I can personally attest to the ability that these guys have getting on the map, getting to those high loot density areas, high value loot, and then getting to the extraction point.
Yeah, I mean, iStream's also got teammates like King, Kiwi, and Delta. Those three players are very strong. Seen them play. So we got a very strong team. I'm also playing with Wolf, Bright Dream, L3 XTR. Definitely butchered how to say that. So this is going to be a very interesting game. But IMO, Mod 6. IMO is a fantastic player. His team is going to have a little bit of uphill battle to fight against Sade and iStream, as well as Fab TV. It's going to be interesting. Let's go and talk about the rule sets. Mod 6, tell me about the rule set.
Yep, so this is not a traditional race rule set, right? You see many games where there's a kill race or a loot race in this case. This is a combination. This is a timed rule set. So we're going to be playing 3 maps today, 30 minutes per map, and we see these teams, they have unlimited opportunity to make efforts on this map. So they create the map over and over again. They need to get a minimum loot amount to qualify their extraction time. Those 3 maps will be Farm, Valley, and then Arm. And for Farm, in order to qualify their extraction time, they'll need 100,000 coin in loot on their team leader during that extraction. For Valley, they'll need 200,000 coin, and for Armory, they will need 300,000 coins. So they need to hit that minimum loot amount on their team leader during the extraction in order to qualify their time. So it's not a race to the extraction point. They've got to get some things done that require them to get into some gunfights, get into some of those high danger areas on each of these maps. And then Armory, with its complicated extraction process compared to some of those other maps, you have to activate the extraction. The extraction waiting time is longer, and you have to defend that extraction point. We've got a lot of dynamics at play this week in this game, in these games, and frankly, that we saw a standard set last week with this rule set. Guys absolutely min-maxing every aspect of this, including their route across the map, their loot distribution. We saw teammates going to high loot zones, picking up loot, running to the extraction point and dropping entire backpacks for their team leader to make sure that everything was organized and they hit those minimum loot values. So with all the experience here in these games today, in these teams, I'm most interested to see the details of those tactical choices, what routes they plan, what kind of maneuver they use, how the teams split up or stay together. So yeah, I think this is where we see that absolute min-max effort to get those fast times.
Yeah, and to put into perspective, on Farm, the fastest time was a sub 6. I think it was like 5 minutes something by Ducky, and that was an incredible run. I don't know if anybody beat that. That was a pretty fast one. And we had maybe a sub, which is still pretty incredible, but that's a bigger map. It's gonna be a lot harder to beat that. And then on Armory, we had Cfang with an incredible sub 5, which I thought was unheard of. And like you mentioned, the strategy of people going into backpacks, people using different routes, maybe searching for loot, that could be something that could potentially see these players being used, because we know a lot of these players have played last week, and we'll probably see a lot of these strategies being used. Now, I'm just more curious to see if we're gonna have a new strategy coming out of nowhere that we can make these becoming very, very fast runs. And if you get 8-minute extraction per round, it's a good extraction, right? 24-minute total extraction. And like we mentioned, it is all based on extraction. You can collect 10 million worth of coins or of coin. It's not going to change anything. You got to get there out fast. But since we are here, I think we're going to be getting the players on the line very soon. We can talk a little bit with them. But Mod 6, excited or what?
So I've got some here on what I think we'll see as a primary tactic. So in all of our fastest times, there was one specific dynamic that we saw consistently. And in those super fast time runs, the loot that qualified their coin, whether it was 100K on farm or 300K on armory, in those really fast runs, it was 1, 2, or 3 items that made up that entire loot value, right? And so what we saw there was a high risk, high reward strategy where they split up, went straight to where they knew there was a chance of a single value item that could hit that minimum loot value, and then activate the extraction on armory while they're looking for that loot. So basically, one player finds the loot, one player hits the extraction, and the chance on maybe getting that one item that hits that minimum loot value and really had absolute optimized fast time. So I think we're going to see some teams take chances here and really go for that record extraction time. But that is a tactic that might not work out. If you don't find that one item, you're back to the drawing board and already 5 minutes in on a game.
I mean, remember last week we had one of the team extract incredibly fast, but they did not have, matter of fact, they had $0 in their backpack, so did not count towards that run. But yeah, I mean, there's also another thing that's kind of underrated. People's gonna have to start doing math, right? You know, we saw people start counting in their backpacks. They're like, ooh, how much do I have enough? Did I pick up? But like, we also have to know, like, don't overdo it, because we saw a team that we found, they picked up an armor that was worth, it looked like 200K on its own, and all they needed to do was walk to the extraction point, and that team took an extra 10 minutes just to find more loot, ended up with 400,000 coin compared to the 200,000, doubling the amount, but the extra just goes to waste. And honestly, I think we're gonna see some teams get into some crazy fights, and I'm still hoping for that one game that we can put teams in the same lobby. Potentially, we could actually see maybe Owen's team and Ice Stream in the same lobby, because they're in the same region. So I want to see something special.
We're hoping for it. We're hoping to see some conflict here. We'll have all of our team captains here on the line in a moment. And I'm interested to see what they have to say about, you know, how much they're willing to divulge this early in the event on what their tactics are going to be and what their approach is here. We've got Fab TV, Ice Stream, Sade, and IMO all here competing for the fastest times on Founders Night. And we're going to get a chance to get into a call with all 4 of these guys and see what they have to say about their tactics for this event.
I'm curious if anyone's gonna banter. I want to see a little bit of smack talking. You know, I want to see. I don't know if these guys are really gonna smack talk. I've never. I mean, maybe IMO, but beside that, I don't feel like these people are the type to smack talk. But I would love to see some smack talk. A lot of these players play with each other often, and you know, I would say they're friends. So anytime I play with friends, I would love to banter just to see that, just a little energy vibe. And I'm excited to start talking to these people. I mean, we know all of them, right? We've spoken to them each individually, but yeah, this gonna be a good one. Hopefully we get the interview.
We saw a little bit of a commentary in the interview at the end of last week's event with Jifan. You know, he's saying his teammates are killing the teammates of all of these others at will. And he's like, of course we were ready for this. Of course, don't forget, don't sleep on PUBG. So we had some. We had a little bit of banter at the end of last week's event. I'm sure we're going to see that from our personalities here. It's a group of people that know each other well, for sure.
Yeah, so let's get these players in right now. Let's go ahead and talk to them and see what they think. I mean, obviously, none of these players are the ones that got talks and who's playing on Sade's team. So let's go to get these players in. All right,
gentlemen.
All right.
Welcome, Ice Stream, Fab TV, IMO, and Sade. I should start it off. I see you got the helmet on. We want to hear as much as you're willing to divulge about your tactics for today, about what the plan is. But hey, are you excited about being in here with all these folks? We know you all know each other, and relationships are strong here. What do you have to say about your tactics for today, Ice Stream?
Look, we don't give tactics away, man. You don't go into war giving your enemies the tactics. But as far as like the general experience goes, I'm just going to make sure that I give the most entertaining gameplay that the viewers are going to watch. Explosive comms, crazy tactics, good gameplay, good gunshots. And we're just gonna do our best, and we're just gonna focus on having fun, because that's the most important thing for me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
awesome,
to hear. That's so Fab. Tell me, we were talking about strategies. Did you watch a little bit of the tape from last week? Take some of the strategy. I know you played with Mod 6 the other day. Did he give you a little insight on what to do for today?
Yeah, I learned a lot from Mod 6 the other day around what we're going to strategize about. I heard you guys mention on the cast about dropping backpacks, but we can't do that this time. The team captain has to go grab the loot. We can't get dropped the loot, so it's going to be a little different this week. We have a little bit of a strategy around that. Listen, I'm telling you, I come from mouse and keyboard background. I'm just trying to keep my fingers on the screen, brother.
Yeah, that's an interesting update that you're gonna have to account for all of those dynamics and how you maneuver to get where you're going. IMO, the only creator here with some military experience like myself, is that a factor? And are you excited about being able to compete against Sade, iStream, and Fee today?
Hey man, these guys can talk whatever they want to talk, right? You might be keyboard and mouse. Yo, I come from that background too, baby. I haven't been on mobile my whole life, but yo, we're here to compete. Not about entertainment, Ice. What you talking about? We're here to win it.
We're here to win, baby.
And Sade, dude, I wanna beat this guy so badly. But hey, we'll get there. I think Sade's probably gonna win. But yo, let's give him some competition for at least just one event, because this dude cannot win everything. All right.
So, Sade, what are you gonna do if you're winning today? Because we already know that you're gonna take this, and everyone else is only playing for second place,
That's
right?
Crazy.
Hey, look, Sade, we know that you're a master. You know what? At this point, might as well review your strategy. What's your strategy for today? What's your strategy? That's how confident you are. Tell your strategy to everybody so that you can help them up a little bit.
Yeah, dude, this is going to my third week on this tournament, you know, so I already have some strategies. But before that, I just want to mention that iStream said enemies, you know. I thought we were friends. Sure. So I have to show him that helmet won't save him from my M61s, you know. You feel me, brother?
All friends but enemies for the next couple of hours today. We've seen all of these guys in the game, in the promo videos, and we get a little bit of banter before the event even starts off. Gentlemen, we're excited for today. We want to wish you the best of luck and get a chance to get in those games, get that loot, get to the extraction point as fast as possible. The founders for this weekend, and we're expecting to see some advanced level tactics, no matter how little they'll divulge in this interview. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
My pleasure.
Peace.
So Mod 6, that's actually a pretty big change. The backpack, I did not know about that. So that might change the dynamic a lot. We might not get that sub. I mean, we might still, because Ducky, when he got that sub 6, it wasn't using the backpack trick. It was just him finding a 100k item right off the bat and running into the extraction. So that's still possible. But Armory, I think that's highly unlikely to see that the sub 5, which is incredible. But I think that's going to change the dynamic a lot. We're going to see way more action, more teams pushing together, because solo pushing, it's not going to be as efficient here, whereas you have your teammate having to go pick up the loot for you. It wouldn't work anyway. But yeah, I mean, Mod 6.
We saw one specific dynamic, which is that these teams did not have trouble in the gunfight, right? We did not see deaths last week like we did first week. And so what I think we'll see from that is teams that are a little bit more likely to be moving, but we will still see some split tactics so that they can be more efficient with their search for that loot. And that high risk, high reward strategy will really be around making bets on where that one high value item may be and racing directly to that point as you have a teammate activate the extraction on Armory. So there's some viability for the high risk, high reward, but I think it also just adds more risk to that strategy there, because you can't split to 4 different directions and be efficient with that search for the loot in the same way. But yeah, we're going to be getting into the game, starting on farm pretty soon. And yeah, I think with Farm, the tactics are a little bit more straightforward. We're going to see most of these teams head straight to Motel and then jump right to that southernmost extraction point where that paid extraction point there. So I think there's a most likely tactic that we'll see consistently on Farm, but from there it opens up. There's a number of different strategies on Valley where you don't even need to go to a built-up area if you're able to find a team early in the game, and then Armory is all over the place. And everyone, we have our first set of codes on the screen. 5 codes on the screen. You've got to be quick to redeem those. Get into your game, go to the events tab, and redeem those codes for a bundle of armor, weapons, ammo, the kind of gear that will give you that head start into these maps like you'll see our players playing today. Gotta be quick.
Hey, if I were you guys, I'd take the middle one because that's usually the fastest way. Nobody ever goes for the middle one. First one, last one, that's just already in it. But why, since we're talking about strategy, you're correct. I think that most people are going to be pretty straightforward for the strategy. However, I think there's maybe one strategy that's luck-based. I don't know if we talked about these. Keys are expensive in this game. And if you find keys, that's pretty much guaranteed. So some guards might get these keys, and you might get lucky and be able to get the keys right off the bat. Again, that's luck-based, but I think everyone's trying to get those safe and get that golden lion. Am I right? Show me that golden lion, Mod 6. Show me that golden lion.
We have the IRL golden lion right here. I know everyone in the chat is just dripping with jealousy, but this golden lion in-game is the highest
real gold, by the way,
value loot item that is consistently there and available on Armory. So we will see some people jumping into the bunker, trying to find that golden lion, as well as, guards in their pockets. You search those pockets, you might find a key. But here's the thing with keys. We're going to see some of these teams that have already prepped their keys. They know the key cards they need. They know the rooms they need to get to. And when you see these teams have all of those keys prepped, I took a look at Sade's inventory in game. I got a chance to see his inventory behind the scenes yesterday. I have never seen so many purple and gold keys. He filled an entire crate with these keys. So I'm not going to give any more insider information other than that, but knowing what keys you need in advance to be able to get into the right rooms, get the right loot opportunities. There are some rooms in Armory that have 500k loot in a single room. And so that is absolutely a factor. Pay attention to these players and what rooms they're headed to, what keys they've prepped to go into these maps.
Yeah, let's talk about a little bit more about the rule sets. I just want to mention that how it works is that it's the addition of times, not an average, not the best of 3. It's whoever has the fastest time total. Meaning if you can get an incredible time in the first map, and then even if you slow down on the second map, it makes it incredibly hard for someone to catch back up if you get too incredibly fast. As we saw last week, we had 2 teams that were close to each other, and it was near impossible for the 3rd and 4th teams to catch back up. And it's all going to be based on the time, and I would say tiebreakers, but the chances of a tiebreaker is I feel like not really relevant in this situation. Don't you agree, Mod 6?
Yeah, it'd be tough to find a tie because this is down to the second. And I think, really what it comes down to is you can really give yourself a great opportunity on the first 2 maps with those results. Because if you're able to pull off sub 6 minutes on Farm and then sub 8 on Valley, going into Armory with a 14-minute total time, we've seen, like you said earlier, 24 minutes is extremely competitive for those top positions in competition. And so what these teams should going for as their primary goal is to Armory with a total time of less than 15 minutes, because that actually gives you the opportunity to check different rooms and still, you can survive. You can be highly competitive with 8 or 9 minutes on Armory. So we saw, in the first couple of weeks, if you're getting in those times at 15 minutes to 22 minutes on the extraction, that's better than the alternative, right? If a team fails to hit the minimum loot amount on any of their games or fails to extract from any games, they're given a 30-minute max time as their score. And so we've seen that happen to some teams in these past couple of weeks. Yeah, I think it's going to come to getting a game in where you get a guarantee that's under 50, and then going for that high risk, high reward strategy in your second game.
Yeah, I mean, last week we didn't see anybody get that 30, but we got people getting into the 20-minute, especially in that armory. If you don't know where the extractions are, and once you get to the extraction, try to kill and loot. Guards have some decent armors as well, so that could be something to look out for. I'm hoping that we're getting into the game soon, because I am so excited to watch these players play. Like, these are the best of the best players who've played since the beginning. And I just want to see who's going to be playing for second place. Just kidding.
There's a lot of people in this in the chat here that are mentioning. I've seen people say Wolf is OP. That's not even a team captain. That's one of IMO's teammates, right? We've seen Monarch and Trashy and Wi-Fi put up crazy results in these events and others, as well as, I mean, King, Kiwi, Delta, these guys on Ice Stream's team, Griddles, Linden, 8scope, these guys that are on Fab TV's team. All of this is the first week where we're really getting some name recognition of not just the captains, but also pretty much every single one of these teammates, right? And so, yeah, I think we're going to see some surprising results early. These teams are going to be for a sub 8-minute extraction on their first game on each map, and then really trying to min-max every single aspect of this rules format. But we should be getting into our first games on farm here any minute as these teams prep. Let's talk a little bit before we bridge into these games, and we may just get cut off and jump in, but the prep that's required for these missions, right? We've been talking about what the strategies are once they're on the map, but all of these teams have had to really look at weapons, their detailed gunsmith setup, what ammunition they have and armor they have, how many bullets do you bring onto the map, right? And so all of their prep that goes into these missions, we're at the point now where they're having a separate loadout and prep depending on what map they're on. Maybe a separate set of weapons for their whole team on Valley versus Armory versus Farm. So those teams are in their pregame lobbies and getting into games here, and they're doing that mission prep where they get their loadout set, get all that ammo set, and get ready to hop into Farm for this first 30-minute section where they're going to go for the fastest times possible.
Yeah, and I know I joke around and say the biggest thing that differentiates him from everyone else is that he played in every single week, and that gives experience. He knows what to do. I think he winning team last week. He was close. He was on the second place team, second place team, not Space's team, but it's gonna be very. Yeah, I want to see someone do something different. I know Motel is gonna be the most efficient way to go. I think Valley's the place that we're gonna see the most differential, just because it's a big map. But I just want to see something unique, something different, and like I mentioned, just give me a fight. I want to see these teams play together, fight against each other. But I'm hoping that we get in the games. I just want to watch these guys get into some action. I have to see if there's any new strategy. It's gotta be. There has to be, right? There has to be.
Yeah, I think the most exciting opportunity here is if we see potentially two of these teams in the same lobby. They're playing in open lobbies today. In their time since the launch, every single one of these maps has been super competitive, right? And so we're highly likely to see all of these teams get into fights with other teams on TAC Ops, as well as the guards in all of these areas. But if we get an opportunity to see teams in the event get in a fight with each other, it's really early team 4-on-4 opportunities where we may see some RNG for these players get in a fight with a team that's got some high value gear, weapons, ammo. And if that's close to or to an extraction point, we might do some new tactics here, given that we've got teams of experts that can maneuver, be very successful in a 4v4 gunfight. And we've seen these guys 1v4 all different channels. I've got no doubt about their gunfight success. And really, it's all going to be about that route plan and that speed. Yeah, Farm will be our first map. And I think Valley, you're right, is where we're going to see those alternate tactics, those alternate routes. And now we have the teams are. I just got an up in their pre-game lobbies. They're going to be loading into the games here in the next couple of minutes. We're going to be bridging into the games here in a couple of minutes, and we'll see first couple of games. Another aspect that could be viable here is that there are airdrops on a couple of these different map modes, as well as notice missions that involve potential boss and gang. All of those factors on the map. There's a lot going on these maps, right? There's other teams out there. All of the different players on the map when you are trying to complete different missions at different points of interest. And then you get these short notice missions that pop in, notifications that there's a boss or a point of interest that pops up here, and then also pops with lots of high value items. And so I think at this point in the game, as we see some of these new events launches as well, get kind of opened up for more and more opportunities to see alternate tactics from these teams. And so they are into the games here. We are going to hop in. Our map is farm. These teams are loaded in. Moving towards the areas now. Hitman, let's get into the game. We're going to see a preview on Joe first team map.
Let's do it.
We've assembled top FPS pros and creators from across the globe to compete in 3 different challenges.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are to our where dreams be shadows like that. We are looking at the POV of actually can't say that, in my opinion, the favorite, but you can see him picking off kill here, using that heavy help. Don't know me personally. I hate being upstream view. Are you heading towards that motel area? Kind of look further spawn. You tell me a little bit more about this, Mod 6.
Head from the from the west side, headed down on a southern motel on a western spawn on farms, likely the absolute fist route to hotel. There's also this backside are able to get in and get out, staying on the southern side of the road the entire. So I believe this is what Sade is using as his first strategy. Pretty much the fastest possible route to a high value loot right now. And once we get some of these teams into the gunfights and onto these, we'll cut in their audio so that you get to hear some of this communication. We have Sade right still approaching. He's at motel already, sprinting past all of the. What we're seeing here, I think, is the team lead just ignoring threats and counting on his teammates to take those threats out so he can run through the safe. We see Ice Stream, his team spawned on the east side of, and they're headed also towards motel. May see if they're in the same lobby. We may fight here, but we're seeing sims from all of these Founders Night players. They already on the objective, the gem necklace, listening into some of the team and communication from Sade's on the objective here at motel.
Yeah, and they're pretty, and I mean, Sade confident that he, even if there's someone else up there, get that kill, loot the item out. I mean, getting a gold necklace is actually pretty huge. It's a decent amount of money. Still need probably a little bit more towards the extract. But I just hear getting to some fights, see if you catch maybe. Take a look at. I don't know if they're in the same exact lobby. 30 and 43, so it's already been almost minutes since they've been in the. So I want to say they're not gonna get up for 6 minutes, but we also have here. I can't tell. It's been also, it seems like they might be the same. As you can tell, they have similar times, so I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah, and what we see is every single team at this point has basically raced to motel. We see Sade already off the objective, and moving towards the extract here. So what we've seen is all 4 of these teams, and this is exactly what we expected, is that we have these with a deep amount of experience. They have so many games on farm at this point through the closed beta in multiple iterations and since the global launch that they know the route that they want to take. Fab TV on the objective here on Motel and looting these guys in a gunfight and in this loot situation. We're going to see if we can hop in and listen to some of that team communication. So we're going to see about that with Fab TV right now.
One just ran inside at 280.
I see them. There's like 3 players, bro.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Let's get Mama.
Yeah, that's exactly what we just expected, is this consistent tactic right now where we see the team leader racing in to get to that high value area with his teammates, essentially providing all of the security required. Teammates fanning out around them, taking out all the guards, watching for other teams while the team leader hits those high value loot areas. That's what we're seeing from Fab TV here. His teammates calling out threats consistently throughout this objective. Down potential other threats.
You can nade there.
Yeah, and you see players right here picking up some of the guns and the attachments. So I want to say that attachments are probably your best bet if you just want to get those, since they don't take as much space and they're actually a decent amount of price when it comes to that. I mean, if they can get the thermoscope or any thermal goggles, those are worth quite a handful, but I hope you're going to get that lucky and come in. We're taking a look at Sade. I think he's going to do extraction. We'll see how long he has. He's extracted, and I can't really tell how long it took. I feel like that was a sub 7-minute mark. We're gonna find out in a few seconds here. He got 400K. Is that sub 5 minutes?
That looks sub 5.
High tier items now.
That is a crazy loot value amount and an early ultra fast time for Sade. It looks like we may have a new record for the farm extraction in both loot value and speed from Team Sade early in this matchup. Hitman, a sub 5 on farm, as we see FB getting a little bit bogged in the gunfight farm with quite a bit less time here available now, and a bit of a longer for their first game on farm here. What do you think about Sade with a sub 5 minute 400K plus extraction from farm?
I mean, it's him. Granted, the necklace, which I guess you gotta be very lucky to get that gold necklace, which essentially makes walk over to the extraction point by the time you get there. That's everything you need. But so we know that he is going to have a huge lead going into it. We thought last week Ducky with that sub 6 was incredible. Sub 5, that's even better than Army. I think it's going to be near impossible for anybody to beat that. And here's the craziest part: he's got more than enough time to try to beat his own record. That was crazy. Like we said, rushing in, looking for all the loot, and then heading back.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see here coming up because IMO and Ice Stream also very, very quickly to Motel. See here, finish his loot on Motel. What we're seeing here is a couple of problems that Sade did not run into on Motel. And this is the RNG factor. It's also a factor in the decisions they make on the objective here. Because while they're on Motel, what Fab TV's run into is less loot opportunities with those high-value single items, and then more traffic with the guards and more traffic with other teams. And so we see some of the dynamics that can really slow you down on this map is if you run into other teams right in the middle of when you're looting at Motel, or if you just have to loot more than you expect because you have trouble finding any of those single, I could potentially be over 100K. So Fat a little bit more trouble, but reminder, all of these teams have 30 minutes to get this map as many times as possible. Unlimited games, they just have to get it all in that 30-minute time window.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week. Like, you can run unlimited once the minute mark. Consider backing out and running it back to try to get a sub 10. You know, you risk getting the 30 for not completing it, but I think in this early side, just go for points. You don't teams, right? You don't say it's got a sub 5, so you just got to try and maybe get that sub 10. If I mean, get 8, and you're going to be in a good position to try to come back from the situation. So we'll see what Fab's picked up. He still doesn't look like he's got anything of great. I'm see how as well as doing. I just have a gut feeling that they're in the same game there, and Sade already another game. Do you think he's 5? That's right.
His time and his why, and he got the neck. He is hard pressed to repeat that performance and get further 5 minutes. And what we might be seeing here is that some of these teams they're running with a aggressive pace to these that we see some more on the map than we've seen in weeks, even though we have experience, because Willian is that they are pursuing some of the most aggressive movement strategies into Motel possible. We see Sade unlocking these rooms, accessing these safes, and this is a room where you had to bring a key.
I'm so glad I went around from
I
the
hear
side though.
moving a bit more him, or
I would have also going
a
to go
bit
for
more
the gate entrance where you guys pushing from, but I
early
just decided to go around.
Move.
I'm gonna go ahead to the
pick that in that safe.
And check if it's open. If it's
it would
not,
have been
you can just straight through that.
off the bat 100. That would have been crazy. I am. See, say did not. Is he going towards the red? I don't know. He's setting. He might be actually going to the extraction already. So.
Sade now, it looks like he's moving towards Motel from the east side of them, and as we're watching tactic from him and what we've seen from Sade in previous events and in other competitions, what he does is he decides on most effective tactic for that map, and then they just repeat over and over and over again to completely max out what the time limit. And that's been the case with every competition we've seen Sade in. So what we're seeing is he's most making a gun fighting there to clear his way a little bit. That teammates getting almost all of checking and body, and they find a real player. They downed a covert ops team, or excuse me, attack ops team early game, pulling all of their armor. Look at this, we see Sade early in a team fight on this game. And this is what we were talking about, the potential of running into another team, quickly looting, and maybe even grabbing higher maps required loot 100k of 1 or 2 players. Ice Cream with an opportunity here to pick up some weapons out of a crate of weapons. RC, he's also got a gold coin in his backpack. Ice Cream on the Motel objective. We're going to listen into some of Ice Stream's team communication.
Field hut. Rotate around. Leave him. Kiwi, fight him. King, go with ice. Rotate all the way around from the.
Listening in now with Sade and team. A little bit slowed down here. It looks like they run into another team. Employing those grenades incredibly effective in this game. Back with Ice Stream.
Did I hear them say it's Sade? I think I heard Ice Stream's teammates say that's Sade. I don't think the timing works out that way. But
potentially, though.
Like,
potentially.
But apparently,
they're definitely worried about other.
I think IMO and Ice are in the same game. From the time that, and then apparently the chat said that Kiwi killed IMO. I think we have a game that both of them are together, and that's what it seems like. That's one of those situations where that's going to cause a lot of delay, and it's out of those fights.
Yeah, absolutely. If we see a team-on-team fight from within this competition, that's huge opportunity for loot, obviously, because every single one of these teams is armed to the teeth and with the best possible loot. We see Fab TV able to pick up one of those gold items there, a 12-minute, it looks like, extract time. He should hit the minimum loot value with no problem.
Yeah, we'll find out in a second here, but I don't expect him to not have enough. So, oh no, is that only 330?
Looks like he's short.
a lot. He had
Fab TV with
93K.
99,000 extract. He was off by 1,000 and would by his time as a result. That is a Hitman. You mentioned having to do that math in your head. He used to just absolutely min-max this with a razor's edge of margin there, and he missed by less than 1,000 coin.
Oh my god. That's going to be a 30-minute situation for them. So now they got to, like, here's Ice's problem, right? They're in a fight with against each other, knocking each other's team. However, now you can see there's 15 minutes left. They're going to have to extract ASAP to try to run it back. But man, we'll see. Maybe he gets enough points. Maybe he doesn't. We'll find out. But they got to try to get that extract ASAP. But it looks like they might get chased. They might be getting chased here by my IMO's team.
Potentially, we see some team-on-team fights here between teams with on series. iStream understanding now that he killed IMO, which does give him the advantage of knowing, hey, I've probably got one team that I'm beating on time because they haven't gotten a successful extract yet. But they will be aware here pretty soon of Sade's first successful extract. Sade absolutely setting a standard here while these other teams run into some things that are slowing them down. Every one of the teams except for Sade in their first game has run into a factor that has slowed down their iStream and IMO's team into a fight with each other, and Fab TV with his team getting into a fight on Motel as struggling to find the high-value loot items that they needed in a 99,000 coin extract when 100,000 is the minimum. So 3 teams dealing with some struggles in game 1. IMO we see here healing up back into another game potentially, and they are going to be moving quickly here because they know they have less than 15 minutes left on farm to qualify the fastest time possible. And with Sade's time that we've seen so far, a 30-minute time on farm failing to extract successfully is brutal and could knock you out of the potential win in our first map.
Yeah, and keep in mind right now that IMO as well as iStream both has not extracted yet. As I say that iStream is currently extracting. He's got 2 seconds left. We'll see if he can get that out. But Sage, actually, what was that? How much time was that? I couldn't sit. But look, sub 5 minutes. Let's listen to the reaction for a second.
They have a freaking stacked team, dude. You know that, right? That's Sade Monarch, Wi-Fi, and
Yeah, it sounds like we've got some team Sade on other teams right now. But yeah, I didn't see the final details of that extraction from iStream. That may have been short on that well. And so right now, what we're seeing is the absolute record for this set on farm from Sade without any successful extractions yet from these other teams. And all of them are using very similar tactics. The slight bit of an execution, orange approach and maneuver, and little details and differences in their route plan. We see Fab taking a very similar route that Sade took in his first game towards Motel, but the difference is he's closer to the road, which is going to create more friction with the guards, more potential into another team on the way to your objective. Now, in the building here, this is not at Motel. This is at the that far western market area. A hot spot for other teams early in the game, or is this at Stables? This may be Stables here.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to tell when we can't really have access to the map right now. So it does look like
so I
was able to restart, right?
He's at Grain Trade Center on farm right now, and this is a hot spot early in the game. We see Fatty also continuing to cross the southern portion of the map, but like I said, he's staying very close to that road, and the longer you stay, the closer you stay to that road, the more traffic you are going to run into in the form of guards and other teams. Whereas when we saw Sade tell in his first game, he stayed far away from that road on the very southern boundary of the map and got to motel as fast as possible. So similar tactics, slight differences in their route planning and their movement choices, resulting in significantly different outcomes for these teams.
Wait.
Yeah, this is the second run. You can see that after one. So his chance to close the gap. It's just not looking too good as they have 10 minutes. So they gotta try it. Hopefully they're not in a fight with another. That was pretty incredible to see. Ice versus unfortunately we didn't see any of the fights or any of the reactions of them. But there's another team here since they're actually using all their nades. They're hitting that road. It can't just be a guard here. So this is gonna be. Ooh, one of his teammates gets knocked here.
Team IMO in trouble. One player going down. They're at Grand Trade Center. Have not even made their way towards motel or towards the center of the map. IMO here hitting heavy meds, surgical kits with an arm blacked out while his team tries to provide him some security and deal with the pressure from this other team, Grand Trade Center. Team IMO with players down. They've been able to kill one player from this other team. This is a quick opportunity, knowing that you're playing against another well-geared, you're able to loot value off of one or two players even of this team. They don't even have to watch them. They may get the minimum loot value and just be able to get to IMO with absolute precision marksmanship, dynamic movement in Great Trade Center, shots left and right. He hops off roof most recklessly, but is able to hit every single shot in that maneuver. IMO going Rambo to get out of range. He may be confident that he has the loot he needs in order to break contact and just absolutely race the. That's a heck of a start. Team IMO, jump in with ice cream.
I mean, the fact teammate kind of sucks, but killing an enemy that can get 100k fairly easily, we get a pretty, hopefully an extraction. How much time has passed through here? Looks like a 33, I really tell, looks like 33 minutes has passed right now. So we're gonna see, but yeah, you saw the strategy from IMO. Headshot, leg shots, that's how you have to kill him. That's his meta. Headshots or you hit him with legs.
Up to this point, IMO, I've seen him in almost every competitive event that he's done. And one thing you'll notice about IMO is he is consistently one shot, one kill in this game. He's one of the only players in content creator scene. He's not firing 3 to 5 round bursts. He's one tapping players with his weapon setup here. So if that's your play, IMO is the guy to follow because he is. Well, I mean, watch him into these marksmanship, like his marksmanship in these gunfights. He knows every single angle. He's threading the needle, and he is consistently one tap headshot kills every single time. And we just saw that from him as he broke contact and got out of unbelievably quickly. Quick 2-tap kill from IMO there, and that level of accuracy and marksmanship and quick time will absolutely make the difference in some of these gunfights. And you saw it as they found a team, quickly got out of Grand Trade Center and are moving as fast as they can towards an extraction. It looks like they're completely skipping motel, dropping some meds for the teammate as you see the teammate limping there. Fab TV back in motel, going straight towards where he knows the loot is here. A long weapons crate. The yellow weapons crate here in the kitchen. His teammates checking all these boxes to give him an idea of where value loot is. Ice stream as well in the bedroom here, going for the safe. All of these players similar. It comes down to the struggles and frustrations and really that they run into on their way to these objectives. Binoculars for ice stream.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm reading the chat right now, and it seems that Kiwi has killed IMO 8. So fuck Kiwi being a player, so we actually have multiple fights competitively. So IMO and Sade both taking down. Good thing that sub 5 minutes, or else that can be disastrous. Let's see if Ice Stream has enough.
At this time, Team Sade, I would hoping to queue into lobbies with other teams in this competition just to speed bump in their out extraction at this point. Sade's best case scenario at this point is get into a gunfight with another team in this competition. Given that he has the absolute fastest extraction time we've seen in this format on farm, anything he can slow down other teams if he's given that opportunity is to his benefit. And frankly, anytime two other teams get into a fight with each other only benefits Sade at this point in the game. We now see a couple of updates in the overall time. We see Team IMO with a 10 extraction. That is going to allow him to stay competitive with Sade. All it takes to close the gap from that minutes to 5 minutes is for him to have extraordinary result on Valley, and you really be close to the top going into Armory in order to have a shot, because everyone knows all of your plans fall apart on first contact with the enemy or as you get a foothold in bunker on Armory. We see Team Ice Stream, he's got extraction point sight. IMO's teammates now advising him to slow that maneuver down. But he's got the extract. Does he have a faster time and a qualifying loot value? We see plenty of loot value, and that's what happens when you fight a geared team early in the game. And we see Ice Stream now with his extraction. Does he have loot? He does have the loot.
Yeah.
He has a sub 10-minute time. Do you see the time there? We'll see our updates here. It looks like everyone but Fab TV. And Fab TV now looks like he is also moving towards the extraction. Coming in to 5 minutes left on farm, and it looks like we may finally see qualifying extractions from all four of these teams. Left behind and the only team to post a 30-minute extraction if he's unable to meet these qualifying terms. That could nearly see successful extraction from Fab here, and it looks like in the next minute and how close these other teams are to Sade. Finally having some extractions come in. Sade looked like he was going to be the only one with a successful extraction on farm for a little bit. Lots of gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that Fab's able to extract, because if he can extract, he'll probably get close to 10, 11 compared to the 30-minute. That is that's incredibly disastrous. Going from 30 minutes to 11 can cut. I mean, look. Aiden is sub 5 is so hard to beat, but if you have a 30, that's possible to beat. So yeah, let's hope that they get this.
Fab TV is well on track here for an extraction time in the 10.5 to 11.5 minute range from what we see on his timer, potentially as slow as 13 minutes. But even that keeps him in the game, keeps him in the running, and it all comes down whether or not he has the loot value. It looks like he's whether he has the loot value or not, and he's being pretty careful with this maneuver. He knows the consequences. He dies here, he does not get the chance at another game. He has 3.5 minutes left in this window. He is not paying attention to his in-game timer. He's the extraction point right in front of him, but this is a danger. If he's hearing footsteps.
Then it's enough, yeah. Then it's enough.
Yeah, all right, looking to get some more. Yeah, it's enough.
Yeah, it looks like his teammates are calling him back in order to pick up some additional loot. It looks like if he was able to qualify an earlier extraction time, he does have a sub 12-minute time on the and Ice Stream as well, still showing 30 minutes. So we'll get some clarification on those times at the end of this round as we have less than 3 minutes left. He is able to pick up a purple key out of that coat. If he's able to get to the extraction point here in less than 3 minutes, he's going to qualify this time. Because that key, I believe, was a 65,000 coin key. He has plenty of loot now. He's hitting the shot to get over to that extraction point as fast as possible. That's extra. I mean, just hitting that shot in that situation is going to give him the opportunity to get there and shave off. Ice Stream hitting the energy drink. He may be going for a faster extraction as well. Fab TV, the extraction point. Plenty of loot, it seems, with this one.
We're chilling for sure. All right. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. Let's see. What is that?
Good find.
How much time? 11 minutes. That's pretty good. 11 minutes compared to the 30 minutes.
Let's see these results.
And
That's
that's
pretty
where we
incredible.
see the score update here. Fab TV with his sub 12-minute extraction. And from what we saw in his
141K,
backpack,
so we were
plenty
over,
of loot. There it is, 141,000.
All right, I gotta
Fab TV clocking in at under 12 minutes. That is going to keep him competitive. He still has a ton of work to do to close the gap with Sade, but he's within a couple of minutes of Team IMO. The Ice Stream here moving as quickly as he can towards an extraction point. He has 1 minute and 34 seconds left on his timer, running into some traffic here, dealing with some guards firing at his position.
Does it say 30 minutes for him?
For the extraction. It does say 30 minutes for Ice Stream. He may not have a minimum loot value up to this point, and he does not sound confident in his ability to extract with 100K in this round. Ice Stream hosts a 30-minute time. Has his only hope that one of these other teams absolutely fails on Valley or Armory to extract successfely.
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, I don't think I saw a 30-minute at all last week, and it's Ice the one getting a 30 minutes. That is crazy. I don't think that anyone expected that, right?
Yeah, and that's what happens when you run into some of these high-level teams on these maps, right? Ice Stream was forced into gunfights and situations with Team IMO, and it seems potentially Team Sade as well. Finishing up this round here in the next 10 seconds and cutting to the final scores here so that we can talk through what the results are after Farm.
My goodness, that was crazy that IMO got a 30 extraction, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna see the final score in there, and we had two opposites, right? We had the record-breaking extraction and the longest extraction you can possibly have in the same game. So that's actually crazy.
I mean, just a wild result from Sade. And the wild thing about it is what we expect from Sade is that consistently we see the same game 5 games in a row from him, right? In this case, he executed the plan perfectly in the first game, but in every subsequent game, he ran into traffic, he ran into some troubles, he was in gunfights with other teams in this triathlon series. And so while we did see Sade execute perfectly in game 1, he did not have the opportunity for that same perfect execution after that. And so what we're seeing here is if you get that early game in and that successful extraction, that may be all it takes. Because also, if Team Sade runs into that same traffic, those same struggles that he saw at the end of Farm on Valley, we may not see a crazy time from him. Let's take a look at some of these highlights and some of the final scores here. We see 4 minutes and 58 seconds from Sade, the fastest time we've seen on Farm. Team IMO and Fab TV both staying competitive, staying close enough to potentially close the gap with Sade, and Ice Stream running into so many gunfights with other teams, unexpected, but he's going to have a lot of ground to make up on Valley in order to have a hope going into that final map on Armory.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's game over for Ice, but it's not impossible. You just got to hope that IMO, Fab, and Sade each get a 30-minute run. I would say highly unlikely, because you also need to have a sub 5-minute run in one of those 2 games. But let's take a look at the highlights here. We have Sade picking up that incredibly fast extraction, sub 5 minutes with 400,000. That's actually probably the fastest per minute we've ever seen in the game. And Sade, we know how he is. We know he hit these shots, him just lasering these people. Oh my God, look at that. Incredible shots coming in by Sade. We know why he's one of the players. And then we talked about this, right? Sade is playing every tournament this week. He wins every tournament. Even the other competitors are scared. So we'll see what happens here.
Like, you looted 5 saves, bro.
Oh, yeah, footsteps.
That's a good extraction here by Fab as well. Some good shots by IMO. I see. This is the extraction that we didn't catch, right? Okay, so that's 7 minutes, but how much time was... Did they not have enough? I guess it didn't have enough
I think
loot,
he was
right?
in the 90,000 loot range for that 7-minute extraction. And this, he saw IMO, his teammate die, he pulls back and his teammates give him the opportunity to heal, and then he just immediately just Rambos off the roof, dropping a player there, dropping another player with some shots to the head, absolute precision and marksmanship over and over. IMO becoming known for his absolute weapon skill in this game. Just one-shot headshots, one tap, two tap across the map. And that was what made that, that extraction time successful.
Let's go, baby. Good shit.
Yeah, I mean, that was some pretty good... It was good to see the gun skills from IMO. Being able to get that, how was it, sub 10 minutes, Fab Gang, that's sub 12. Man, iStream, I'm rooting for you. I want to see that comeback win. I want to see you get 2 sub 5s and hopefully you get a lobby with all these other players and kill everybody on that team to give them sub 30s. But that was probably one of the best.
And if you look at the scoreboard, it looks like there's a massive difference in performance between those 3 teams and iStream. But the fact of the matter is, with 7 minutes left on farm, we only had 1 team with a successful extraction, right? So Sade getting the extraction in early, and then we waited till the very end of the map before we saw those successful extractions from IMO and Fab. And so iStream was right there with them. And so those other 3 teams all were at risk of a 30-minute extraction time until the very end there. And you see the 5 codes on your screen. This is our second iteration of codes. Get into your game, get to the events tab and redeem those codes. They are only active for a very short period of time. You got to be Johnny on the spot. Do it quick.
Redeem those codes, get all the loot, get and ready to break out. I know when I said it like that, it feels kind of weird, but yeah, I mean, get all those loot, guys. It's gonna help out a lot. I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, this week we actually have more than last week. And guys, let us know who you think has a chance to come back. All right, let us know in the comments down below. At also your Instagram so that we can contact you, because we're gonna add you into the wheel at the end for more codes. And yeah, there's going to be another surprise code somewhere around, so don't leave the stream. Make sure to watch it. And we're going to be getting into our second game, going into Valley. I almost said Farm, but Valley, 200K. That's what they need to get. Are you excited?
Let us know in the chat, who do you think has the best chance of closing the gap with Sade, potentially beating Sade in these upcoming maps. Make sure when you answer that question, leave your Instagram handle with your answer. Your Instagram handle will be entered into our final draw for these redemption codes. And it can get frustrating on this game when you get a couple of deaths in a row, lose all of your gear, have empty storage. These bundles can get you back in the game on TAC Ops. So leave us your answer. Who do you think has the best chance of closing the gap with Sade on the next 2 maps? And leave your Instagram handle with that answer.
Yep. So we're going to prepare for that game onto Valley. And then we're going to see if we're going to have a new record. The record was a sub, I think it was sub 8. It was a sub 9. One or the other. But like we said, Valley's such a big map. I think a cool thing is that going into Armory, that's going to be the place where if you have teams from in the same server, in the same lobby, that's where it can get really spicy. Because if you have everybody getting into that Armory, imagine getting Sade, you get also IMO, iStream, Fab, all in the same lobby in Armory. It's going to be a wild one. Yeah. I might just take the L and leave and join another lobby to get better time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you know you're in a gunfight with 2 other teams in this event, it may be the best tactic to just cause as much chaos for about 60 seconds. You know, Leroy Jenkins straight into a gunfight, have your team die and then just hop right back into the next game knowing you're likely going to have a lobby without those other teams. Who knows what would happen there? But Armory is the map where you're most likely to all be in the same place. Valley, wide open for tactics, potential route plans, and different methods to get to that 200,000 coin minimum loot value to qualify the time. So as we go to the Valley map, that minimum loot value for a qualifying time goes from 100,000 on farm to 200,000 coin on Valley. And so these teams, this is where we've seen the most struggle up to this point in actually hitting the minimum loot value for the map, right? Valley's loot isn't significantly higher or more plentiful in value, or, you know, how much there is on the map than when compared to farm. So that 200k loot value is a tough mark to hit on Valley consistently.
Yeah, like if we compare that to like Armory, you can get so much high loot just from killing a guard. If you go to Valley, you kill a guard, you're like, ah, cool, 10k here, nice. You go to Armory, you kill a guard, they're like, oh man, $1 million item, thanks bud, just get that out and you're gone. Valley, just, that's why you see some long extractions, but also I feel like that's the safest one, right? You're not most likely going to run into opposing enemies, right? So you see a lot of people succeed, but it also takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. Valley gives you more visibility at longer distances than some of these other maps. So you've got, you know, with that comes the risk of long distance engagements with some snipers. With that visibility comes a more freedom of movement. And expect on Valley is some really aggressive, fast movement strategies, and then as loot, hope for that best result when you find the safe, and then as fast to the possibly can move very extraction, because on Valley you've got more ground to cover, but you've got more visibility to do it really quickly. And then right now we're going to be jumping in with Sade on Valley. We have our teams ready to go, and we're going to hop in with Sade and see if he's going to be able to get another early extraction on this next map.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Valley with all the lows and highs. Let's see if this team can extract with the top gold. Fab is the one we're actually watching now. Looks like he got into a fight, or maybe he fell off a cliff. I can't really tell with the broken leg. But Sade off to the races, moving with his team full speed ahead, heading towards, I'm not sure exactly, I can't really tell. But Mod 6, tell me a little more what you see here by Sade.
Yeah, it looks like Sade spawned on the western side of the map here at Valley, and he's moving nearly directly east. And what Valley's going to do here is, if you're spawning on the west side of the map, you have an opportunity to move through RV Camp in Valley Village on your way to Beach Villa. And there's enough action at those locations. We see Sade being very careful here. Does not want to pull a Fab TV and break his legs from fall damage too early in this game. And, you know, that fall damage is a problem, because when you fall, you're not just going to get a wound in your legs, you're going to break your legs. Breaking your legs requires you stop and hit a surgical kit. Every surgical kit in this game takes away from your maximum health value. You don't get all the way back to 100% health when you hit a surgical kit. And so breaking your legs in this game quite literally lowers your overall health early in the game from the start. So all of these players moving towards the center of the map in their first game on Valley. We see Ice Stream here checking his inventory, waiting for some teammates, and IMO, early extraction, IMO already on the extraction point in the red smoke. We're going to see if he has that loot value. 11 minutes and 14 seconds, a very competitive time here on Valley. Does IMO have it? Is he going to post our first time from this map? 243,000 Hitman.
He got it.
IMO,
that's good. That's huge. Yeah, we thought it was a fast one because we started a little bit later, but still, I think 12 is actually an average time, which is good to try to catch back up. We're going to see how Sade as well as Fab does, but that means that he does have a bit more time to run it up. I don't know if that one will count, though, because he started the game earlier than the timer. So we'll find out. We'll get some more information, but it seems like as of now, it does count towards a point. Sade's in a fight, so actually, let's do a little listening as he's getting these shots in.
Oh, Sade going down We were looking for an opportunity to hear him communicate in the gunfight, and the moment we go for the listening, he takes a shot to the head and chest. And Sade dying in his first game on Valley. This is what I was talking about. A real opportunity for some of these other teams to catch back up as we see Fab loot a gold coin and Ice Stream get out this up area and move on to the next loot zone. Sade going down early and other teams getting in successful gunfights, loot opportunities, and movement towards an extraction point here. So we may see a bit of a reversal. Sade running into some trouble early on Valley. Hitman, do you think this one's going to be tougher than Farm was for Sade?
I mean, that was crazy. He got one tap to the head, or it seems like it. That was kind of incredible. I don't know if that's going to be realistic, but again, still, look how much time's left, right? He can die many times as he wants, and he can still get a pretty good amount. I want to say yes, but also no, because he still got 26 minutes, and looks like Ice Cream is in the fight. Let's actually listen in here and see how they react to this team fight here.
I was just checking.
There's one more Kiwi, one more up there. Ice, do not fight it. Run back.
Bro, let's Sade as well. Sade here as well, bro.
Yeah, this is a whole two different teams. You just run forward.
Am I just gonna stay here for a bit?
No, Ice, go to your left. Kiwi, can you cover that? If Ice just grabs the helmet, Ice, drop your helmet or something, or make space for the helmet.
Yeah, I'm
pick it up straight away.
I'm gonna swap. Am I gonna go to the? Am I going to the yellow mark?
Should be. Wait, no, not the yellow mark. That should be where the players are.
What? Where am I going then?
So according to the chat, Kiwi killed Sade. So that kill there that we saw from Sade dying was off of Kiwi. So Kiwi is just absolutely destroying the other team. Man, I asked for action, and today, it's like the devs listened to me last week, and they're like, you know what? Hey man, I got you! Everybody in the same lobby! My goodness, Mod 6. Wait.
And well, here's the thing. What we heard as soon as we hopped in with Ice Stream was their reaction to that gunfight. They realized they killed either one of the other teams or potentially someone who's highly geared. Look at this. We have the IND-50 helmet with the thermal image on it. So by killing that team with thermal imager on, iStream immediately has all of the loot value that he needs. You know that thermal imager is a 600k loot value item. He is immediately knife out, sprinting to his closest extraction point. iStream with a real opportunity to catch back up here by dropping Sade, being able to loot his body, pick up that thermal imager, and that's an item we have not seen in use by one of these teams on this map or in this series yet. But if you're going to use the thermal imager, Valley is the map to use it on. That it's the absolute best item in the game for avoiding bush campers, being able to see players from farther away because you get that black and white high contrast visibility through the thermal imager. So Ice Stream we see here pulling out all the stops, hitting the endurance injection. And you know, another strategy that we're seeing here is these players, as they look to maximize their usage of storage for loot value, what we saw Ice Stream do is drop his own helmet in order to wear Sade's helmet. And by doing that, he keeps the space open in his backpack, and he's able to quickly put on this helmet that would obviously be an equivalent protection to the one that he was wearing. So an opportunity to have equipment that you wear count as loot value here and maximize the use of space. Not really a major concern given that thermal imager is 600,000 in loot value. That's its market value. The actual tooltip might say 500k, might say something like that, but well enough for the value that you need on Valley. Fab TV here now moving towards the helicopter extraction. I played this extraction with him the other night. He knows that he needs 3 dog tags or potentially one of the boss token items. His teammates have already activated that extraction. 47 seconds left here. Fab TV looking like he has the first sub 10-minute extraction. We also see Ice Stream 751. Multiple teams coming in now with sub 10-minute extractions. Ice Stream, does he have the loot value? It looks like he will with that thermal imager. A huge game. Both eliminating the opportunity for Sade to get an early extract. 8 346,000 in loot
That's the
value,
record.
the highest we've seen in this competition. And that's the struggle, but also the potential upside of running into another really geared, really effective team on this map. If you've got Kiwi on the team, ladies and gentlemen, you might just hope that happens every single time. Kiwi potentially getting a teammate MVP vote here, given how many times he has wrecked other teams up to this point.
Let's find out if Fab got enough. He got more than enough. 300K. That's 3 teams able to extract. And to the biggest surprise, Sade's team has yet to extract. But with 20 minutes left, plenty of time. At this point, am I going to be IMO, Fab, or Ice Cream and just try to maybe cause a little bit of mayhem for Sade's team, hopefully get into the same lobby as them? Because if they get 30, this will be an actual close game. But granted, like we said, there's still 20 minutes remaining, plenty of time for Sade, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get a little bit more action here. My gosh, this is going to be a good one, Mod6.
Hey, listen, Ice Stream being able to get a successful extraction in under 8 minutes right there. What that does, if you look at his time of 37 minutes and IMO's time of 26:30, Ice Stream is potentially clawing his way back to, if he has a wildly successful Armory game, given the likelihood that these players will run into each other on Armory, Ice Stream could play spoiler coming up for all of these other teams. Everyone here knows, if you're watching this game, you've seen Ice Stream's channel, and if you've played this game and you haven't watched an Ice Stream video, shame on you. You'd be better for it. So Ice Stream, known in this community as the how-to YouTuber, the guy who knows every little detail about this game because he's teaching every little detail about this game. Do not count him out. Sade is making his way to his potential first extraction point here, and a surprise so far that we haven't seen Sade extract yet successfully, but no doubt he's going to have the opportunity. Let's see if IMO is able to further reduce his time on Valley and potentially get in to competition here. Fab TV, the only PC player who moved to mobile for the first time with this game, in second place and competitive. At this point, with our qualified times, Fab TV is at the top of the leaderboard if Sade gets 30 minutes.
I mean, that's crazy. Going from, we don't know if he's going to extract, getting a 30-minute extraction, jumping into second place for Fab TV. Everybody written him off. I said, look, man, this guy's a dark horse. He's got that knowledge from Tarkov. He's got that information. He knows how this game works. He may not have the mobile skills as all these players do, but you got to see, averaging 10 per extraction. Now we're taking a look at IMO. See if we can actually pick up an extraction here. He's got plenty of time, just started here. He did spot what looks to be a real player in the open earlier, decided not to shoot, kill the other player, and I don't know if he right now is just rotating and get some loot here. I would love to see IMO shave a bit of the time.
It looks like IMO's only about a minute and a half into this game. And also, we've seen some questions on whether IMO's first game counted. It looks like it did. Any discrepancies that you see in timing or things that look a little bit weird, him finishing kind of early in relation to the timer, you have to remember some of these streamers have a delay on their own streams, and all of that timing and coordination is likely at play there. So we see the qualified times on the bottom of the screen here, and IMO early in this game, only a couple of minutes, just over 2 minutes into this game, with some opportunity to get into Villa and maybe get an early extract. Jumping in with Sade, he has unlocked the door in a high value room here on Valley. You see all of those taurine drinks. Every time he drinks one of those, it's going to refill his stamina bar. And so that's the strategy that he's using here to really maximize his movement speed across the map. And finding some loot in this medium weapon case, but nothing of extreme high value. Checking the suitcase, IMO, 1-tap, 2-tap, over and over again. Some of the most impressive accuracy that we've seen in this event or in any Arena Breakout event so far.
Yeah, this I would say it's unlucky for Sade because out of those, not really anything of value. And we talked about this earlier. Valley is not like a spot where you're gonna get crazy god loot compared to like farm, and even compared to, let's say, Armory, because Armory is gonna have the goddess of god loots. But right here we can see, we'll see 17 minutes remaining for Sade to at least get an extraction out. Because without an extraction, this is gonna be, I'm actually rooting for Sade to not get an extraction so we can get this very competitive Armory and potentially get all 4 teams at Armory to get a battle royale fight in the Armory with some bosses and all that fun stuff. But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, and I think at this point we're almost desensitized to IMO's accuracy. We see him move across the map here, and he is consistently one-tap headshotting everything he shoots at. He's the only person we see doing that in every game, every gunfight. Fab TV now, about 1 minute in to his next game. They've already cleared an area of these guards. His teammates checking for potential high-value loot while he makes sure that they are secure. I expect to see some of these teams that already have a qualified time really pull out all the stops and race for a high value, a high loot value, and a fast extraction. But really in a gun with injuries to one arm and both legs, being cautious, but obviously concerned about the threat. These kinds of slowdowns are the kind of thing that is going to prevent those record-setting extraction times. IMO now well into Villa in less than 5 minutes into the game. If he's able to successfully get some things done here in Villa and get some dog tags picked up or meet that qualifying extraction for the helipad, he could get a really, really fast time here.
Yeah, I think he got a pretty slow time for the beginning one, 12 minutes. And I don't know what's the situation and how much time left he has because he started a little bit early. But like you mentioned, if you can get those dog tags, there's extraction. And shout out to Shiro in the chats giving us updates on who's fighting who, mentioning that it doesn't seem that anybody's in the same lobby right now. And anytime there's somebody in the lobby, well, I'll know because chat will always tell us whenever there's going to be a fight. But I'm hoping for I'm out to at least close the gap, get a sub 10 because we saw Ice get a sub 10. We saw Fab get a sub 10. I think Ice's time was pretty fast, like almost a 7 minutes and 15 seconds. That's the fastest we've seen so far. So we'll see. And still, Sade looking to extract. Doesn't have enough loot so far. And as we look, maybe he does have enough loot getting into the extraction. We'll find out in a second if he does have enough. If he gets into that, I don't know. I think he's definitely got to have the dog tags ready, right? Mod 6, he's got to have them.
So Sade is at about the 8-minute mark in this game, coming up on the 8-minute mark, it looks like. And he's going to have an opportunity to potentially extract here. We'll see if he has the dog tags. He's got teammates moving towards his location, and so he may be waiting on teammates to be able to qualify and activate that helipad extraction. Fab TV here, clearly still in a gunfight, still bogged down by this team with a broken leg now. IMO struggling. Ooh. Entire body nearly broken, desperately trying to get the surgical kit and medical kits in so that he does not die here. A potential really, really fast extraction point. And given the gunfight he was just in, you got to assume that there is plenty of loot there to hit that 200K. So IMO potentially near death, but might get the successful extraction if he's able to heal, if that area is secure, and if there's enough loot left on Villa for him to hit 200K. Fab TV now pretty stuck seemingly in that position dealing with that gunfight. And Sade, having activated the extraction on the helipad, 21 seconds left. It looks like he is likely to have the loot value that he needs with a couple of gold items there. Let's see if Sade is able to pull this off and keep the lead with a fast extraction point of under 10 minutes on Valley.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm out. Although he potentially has a loot, he's in 8 minutes in. By the time he gets to extraction, I don't think he's going to beat his old record. I didn't see how much time was here, but let's take a look and see if they got all the loot. I'm assuming they did, as you mentioned. All the gold items definitely have. Oh no!
Sade only 80,000. Sade still without a qualified extraction time. This is what I'm talking about. Only 13 minutes left now, and Sade does not have a time better than 30 minutes for Valley from what we know yet. So we'll update you as we see updated scores here and qualified scores. IMO, teammates still in a gunfight, He is continually trying to heal here. Let's see if we can hop in on voice with some of these teams. We'll hop in with voice on Fab TV as he clearly is dealing with this gunfight. Footstep visual indicators with a broken leg on painkillers. Let's hear what he's doing.
But they still need to get their friend's body though.
We've got silence as he is trying not to make any noise. He may have teammates that are dead here to communicate with. Here's the problem: is if that is a guard that's just if that's a guard that's just on a patrol and he's concerned about those footsteps will keep him there for minutes and minutes. So he's going to have to make a decision here to move and engage this target that is slowing down. Oh, this is another player.
That's a real person.
In a massive helmet. Oh, Fab TV able to down him and keep his life. That could have been another player on one of these other teams. We saw the IND 70 helmet. Ice Stream now with a faster extraction time, 7 minutes and 8 seconds.
That's huge. That's huge. He's slowly trimming it, and Sade right now does not seem like he's in the lobby. And with the time clicking down, oh, no, okay, not enough time, not enough loot for Ice there. It was only 93k, so keep that old time, which was still pretty incredible. Fab right now is getting shot in the back. Oh, it is down, but it's okay. He's already at least got his time.
No, the boss icon.
Fab having a qualified time. IMO again with those single shot headshots. Absolutely insane. I'm interested to see who that gunfight that Fab TV was in with that could have been another team here, but regardless, a heavily geared team wearing all level 6 armor takes down Fab's team and potentially loses some players of their own. So we're going to see the results there. That is some spicy plays on Valley as we see IMO complete freedom of maneuver, complete freedom of movement as he gets across this map. You have to assume that the accuracy that IMO displays speeds up his movement significantly.
Yeah, this is significantly spicier than last week. Last week, I don't think we saw any really action. It's just people looting, getting into fast fights. Nobody dying. We've caught how many teams die? 4 or 5 teams die right off the bat. So just Sade alone getting into fights multiple times. But I guess also since this game has been out an extra week since last week, we have more players getting into Valley. We have maybe not as many in Armory, but we could have more players in Valley again. And also we know that these are some of the top content creators also for Arena Breakout, meaning that maybe more players are hoping to fight against them today while they're competing in this tournament. So maybe we'll have more people fighting and playing. That could lead to all this action. But then again, we did also see these players play against each other, meaning that this is a action-packed day, which is everything that I want. So far, Mod 6, the storyline is incredible, especially if Sade does not get an extraction.
Yeah, if Sade is unable to successfully get a qualified time on this Valley round, the opportunity to win is blown wide open for all other teams, including Team Ice Stream, right? If Sade has an unqualified time and he ends up with 34 minutes and change as his time going into Armory, all 4 teams are in the mix. So Sade absolutely on short time here as he moves as fast as he can across this map, dealing with a couple of guards, slowing his movement down a little bit here. His teammates clearing the way as well, ignoring injuries, sprinting across the map. Sade with less than 9 minutes to get 200,000 coin and get off this map in order to successfully qualify his time and keep his first place position in this competition.
And it's hard because this map we saw from last week, the average is 12 minutes to extract, despite what we saw from, today. We saw Ice hitting almost 7 minute. Last week we saw C5 hitting an 8 minute. IMO's going to be able to hit this extract, but it's still going to not be better than the one he had earlier. And here, let's do a little theory crafting, okay? Let's say Sade hypothetically gets 30 minutes, right? Making it a super tie. You know who's going to be first place? Fab. Now, here's the important part. We talked about Fab not being a full mobile player. He's going to go into Armory with a lead, but he's going to have to fight against some of the best NPCs in the game as well as players, meaning that it's going to put his gun skills to the test, and that's going to be his biggest obstacle to face in the last map. But still, 8 more minutes to play in this one, Mod 6.
I don't think we could have a more exciting entry into Armory than with Fab in the lead, because here's the thing, Fab is the least experienced mobile player. That's exactly correct, which the only reason that concerns me too much, because playing with him, I understand the skill that he and his teammates have, but it's the experience on Armory. Do they have the keys to get into those high loot value rooms, and do they have the practice in activating the Armory extraction points and being able to time that stuff well? So that would throw the entire competition for a loop. We're going to see if Sade right now, with 7 minutes left on Valley, is he able to get into Villa, hit the extraction criteria for this helipad, but also get the loot. We know Sade's going to have the keys. He's picking up everything he can find. He will need to hit this 200k loot value, and we have not seen him hit any high value items yet in this game. So there's plenty of opportunity here. He's hitting a safe. If he gets lucky with the safe, he could his lead. No, a CPU, only a couple thousand. Ice Stream now in Villa. Do we see Sade and Ice Stream in the same lobby, in the same location? We may be gearing up for a team-on-team gunfight here, as all of these NPCs, all of these guards are already down. Let's listen into this in-game audio, because we might be seeing Team Sade versus Team Ice Stream.
Let's do it.
Come to me instead. Come to me instead.
Roger, on my way, Roger. What we doing?
Come to me, grab the M4. Grab the M4 off the bot. Grab the M4.
Roger. Protect me.
I got you.
Protect me.
King's knocked. I'm gonna try open.
King's knocked? It's all good, King. You got this, bro.
There's a fucking shotgun bots. Are you kidding?
Alright, where's the token? Where's the token? Is that the boss?
Grab token. Grab token.
Where's the goddamn token?
Grab token. Somebody get ready. Grab token. Somebody get ready to go to the extract and just sit there with the token. Everyone else loot quickly. Grab all the safes.
Where's the goddamn token?
On me.
Where are you?
All right, we see Sade now dealing with this gunfight. We see Ice Stream as well, under stress to get that extraction criteria. If they are in the same lobby, we don't have confirmation that they're in the same lobby yet, but if they are, that means only one of these teams will be able to get the boss token and qualify for the extraction. So we will see Sade with a broken arm and injuries all over the rest of his body. Both of these teams in a high stress environment here in Villa, trying to get the extraction done. Ice Stream now running towards the extraction point with potentially a sub 5-minute time on Valley. Ice Stream with an unqualified time on farm, dealing with a 30-minute score, is now potentially posting the fastest extract time we've seen on Valley. Even with his delay on this helipad, he will be in the range likely of less than 5.5 minutes. You see them celebrating prior to the Ice Stream pumped. He may be back in this game.
But we gotta see if they have enough loot, right? I was quick glancing, maybe that M4 could be worth it enough. We'll find out in a second, because if they get to that one, I didn't see him do any math, right? I did not see him do any math, unless he's quick math like that. But they got 15 seconds.
I think that weapon, I think that 5.56 weapon is enough loot potentially to qualify by itself. Dealing with grenades, what was that? I don't know if that was an accidental grenade from a teammate, but we have Ice with a successful extraction. 5 minutes and 5 seconds. The fastest extraction we've seen on Valley so far. Huge celebrations from Team Ice Stream. What is the loot value? We need to see if this time is qualified. 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Insane for Valley. 245. He does it.
Yeah, that gun was it. That gun, that's huge. His teammates tell him the gun is right there. Pick it up. Get there. Now we gotta look at Sade. Is Sade right now the extraction? No. Okay, Sade can still make it. If they're different games, it seems like it, because obviously they would have shot each other. But we got to see enough loot
in different games. We now see the extraction activated. Sade, he's probably going to be able to successfully extract here. He is nearly dead with a broken arm, injuries in the rest of his body, making sure he's got the space and reorganizing his gear for the items that he's looted so that he has only his highest value items in the right spots here. Sade now with 36 seconds, a slower time than we saw from some of these other teams. But if he gets this qualified extraction time, likely maintaining his lead on this competition.
I feel like that looks like more than enough loot, but then again, we can never tell in here. But they got 15 seconds to figure it out, but I think they're okay. That's kind of like, whoo, that was a close one. That's the strategy that we didn't see happen quite often last week, right? We did not see the chopper extract as much, but again, we did really much see a backpack strategy. So going back to the change into the backpack, where people were picking up with the backpack, dropping the backpack, picking it up, and then doing that. This time we had two teams head towards that, getting the boss hook and doing the helicopter extraction, and that created some fast one. Take a look. All right, let's take a look at this last extraction.
Fucking RNG, you know.
All right, we're going to be looking at some of the score updates here in a minute. Hitman, we saw high stress at the end of that Valley map. Sade barely getting to the extraction in time with only moments left in the 30-minute timer, but he was able to get that successful extraction time. We didn't see the final time for Sade, so we'll get our scores updated here in a minute and check out the leaderboard. But what we did see were massive loot values for some of these teams. Ice Stream early getting our first thermals loot in this competition. You know, as soon as you have that thermal on your helmet, you're good to go, no matter what map you're on, and you race for the extraction. We saw then a crazy fast extraction time from Ice Stream. So despite the struggles on map 1, Ice Stream coming out with our best result on Valley, which keeps these options open for all of these teams going into Armory. Hey man, that was some exciting gameplay. Probably our most exciting Valley experience so far.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I was to say, so far we've gotten everything. We've got crazy action, little storyline. I would have, no offense, Sade, okay? Look, we already know you're good. I would love for you to fail that extraction just so that we can have a close one, because as of now, Sade's in the lead, I think, by a solid 8 minutes. I think his total is 12 minutes. And Ice, if you would have got just one extraction, this would have been an incredibly close game. And unfortunately, I think IMO would have been in the last place. Fab right now doing a fantastic job. We're going to go into Armory. We're going to take a look at this standing, or how people did, because if I calculated correctly, I think we had a sub 7 for Sade there. So that's going to be a pretty good one. Mod 6, man. We're going into Armory soon, and it's going to be a spicy one.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Sade, his best map is Armory. He grinds Armory, right? But what we've seen so far is that you can never count these teams out, and you can never just kind of assume that someone's going to be successful on one of these maps, because Valley, a seemingly safer map with more movement opportunities, and Sade ran into only struggles early in that 30 minutes. And so, it's up in the air. Fab TV representing the Tarkov and PC players extremely well. This guy is taking this competition seriously, and he is posting up some of the best times and some more consistent results than almost any other team that we've seen.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. I just watched some incredible gameplay. Look, Arena Breakout, if you're listening, if you're watching, if you're controlling the servers, hit that little button and put all 4 of them in the same lobby. Thank you, appreciate ya. I would love to see that. And man, we'll see if we can actually see some spoilers coming in, like we mentioned, right? If Sade potentially does not extract in this game next, that means it's open for anybody. But as of now, the top team to beat is Sade's. And we'll see the strategy that he plays. You think he's going to play a little safer, maybe not extract in the main Armory because he has such a high lead, and then potentially go afterwards to the extraction point that we saw in Armory? Because we did see last week, we had a Zhifeng go for the extraction, not in Armory, and that paid dividends. We're able to get a pretty fast time, a sub 5 minutes, but granted, they were doing the backpack strategy. We'll see if that changes today. But
yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
Not quite yet, but that point is that the fastest extraction time we saw last week on Armory was not inside of Bunker, and so I'm interested to see if any of the teams take that route. We know that Sade's most consistent route into Armory is to enter Armory on the westernmost entrance. He gets a foothold there in the corner, moves through that westernmost entrance into Armory, and then has a pretty consistent route he takes through the building, hits a couple of the high value rooms with those key cards, and then activates the extraction. So I would bet that we're going to see that consistent strategy from Sade, but for everyone else, who knows, right? They might go for the fastest possible extraction on one of the exterior extraction points. And there's still great opportunities here. All that has to happen for this to be blown wide open is for Sade to potentially run into some struggles getting to that extraction point early on this Armory map. So let us know. We've got another question for you in the chat. Do you think that we are going to see a record-breaking extraction for this event on Armory? Our record right now is 4 minutes and 56 seconds, I believe. Do you think today that we are going to see a better extraction time than that? Let us know, yes or no, in the chat, and leave your Instagram handle. When you leave your Instagram handle, you will be entered into the final draw for those bundle codes, those CD keys here at the end of the stream. So let us know in the chat, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at. Do you think we're going to see a time faster than 4:56 on Armor today?
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought that we were not going to see a faster time on Farm. I thought we were not going to see a faster time on Valley. And yet, both of these records were broken today. So I'm going to say yes. We're going to see an Army, despite a sub 5. I'm going to say yes, it's going to be broken. And also, speaking of CD keys, don't forget to keep watching. We have 5 more CD keys that's going to pop up soon, eventually, sometime. And then you have a chance to get that loot so you can keep on playing and break out. Every time I say that, it feels different. It feels different, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think we're winning right now.
Something that I'd encourage you to do while you're watching this event is look at, when the players open their inventory, look at what they're carrying, right? One of the most common questions that I'm asked, because I was an Army officer for 10 years in the United States Army and did load planning and mission planning as a profession. I get this question all the time, is how much ammo should I carry into a game of Armory versus how much ammo should I carry into a game on Farm? And so there's lots of questions about what you should be bringing into these games, given it's so complex, and that can make such a big difference. Watch what these players have on them when they open up their inventory. You'll see they are loaded down on grenades. There's a reason for that. Grenades are incredibly effective in this game, and they are carrying between 4 and 8 grenades into every one of these games. So keep an eye on that. It'll give you some insight into why these guys do so well in these games and can get such consistent results. We're going to be going to a break here very shortly, and then when we come back from the break, we will have final score updates before Armory, and we will be getting in to the games with these teams on our most spicy map of the day, with Armory and these teams trying to extract out of Bunker. We will see you all right after the break. Stay with us.
Yeah, go on. Don't waste your breath. Shit.
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? This? What you're fighting for? Here's my answer. A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come if they dare! and pay with their lives. Let them see our anger, feel our pride. Show them who Kimona really belongs to. I will fight for her until the end.
Break. Bulldog 7, Blue 1, troops in contact.
Welcome to the Arena Breakout Triathlon event, where creators will be pitted against one another to see who will become the Arena Breakout Iron Man. Players will engage in intense shootouts and looting with high stakes and high rewards. Survival is key, as escaping the combat area alive is the only path to victory. It's a game where shooting, looting, and strategic decision-making are crucial for success. Get ready to break out! We've assembled top FPS pros and creators from across the globe to compete in 3 different challenges. Each challenge will take place on a different map, and the goal will be to get in, obtain the required amount of loot, and extract. Challengers will have unlimited attempts within a 30-minute time limit. Failure on any maps gets marked as the full 30 minutes. The lowest combined time across all challenges wins. Challenges will feature creators as participants, and they can choose to compete individually, bring along friends for assistance, or form teams with anyone. There are no restrictions on loadout value, but anything they bring will not count towards the map goal. The first challenge takes place on the farm. Creators must navigate through the heavily patrolled fields and gather 100k coin worth of loot before extracting. The next challenge is in the Valley Blockade. Will they choose to break into the villas to find large amounts of loot and enemies, or stay on the outskirts and play it safe? Either way, challengers must snap 200k coin before breaking out. The final challenge will be held in the Armory. Challengers must be sure to do their reconnaissance here in order to remain efficient and find the exit to this potential death trap. This time, 300k coin is needed before your final evac. Heads up, any form of cheating is strictly prohibited. Keep your eyes on the battlefield to make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. Arena Breakout will be available on iOS and Android, so pre-register now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our short break. We should be getting our points and the results of the second map shortly. But Mod 6, did you expect today to be such an eventful day? It is crazy.
I'm excited that so far what we've seen is highly competitive games, a race to the extraction point, and really hit or miss on whether or not these teams are hitting their minimum extraction value. We've seen almost as many extractions without a high enough value as we've seen with a high enough value. We've also seen quite a few more deaths this week than we saw last week. Partially a factor is that we've seen some of these teams in the same lobbies on the same map, and Kiwi on Ice Stream's team just absolutely getting it done to frustrate some of the other teams here with 3 kills so far from what I'm tracking on members of other teams. 2 of them on Sade himself. And so as we get this final score update, before we go into Armory, you know, I'm looking at the Armory map, and in many cases what you see is a spawn point on the north side of the map near Barn Mine or gas station, but we will see potentially some of these teams spawn on a southern portion of the map near shooting range or field hospital. So a huge factor here going into Armory is that initial spawn point. And if one of these teams that, you know, especially if Sade spawns near shooting range, he likes that western entrance into Armory. If he spawns, gets that ideal spawn and gets an opportunity at an early entrance into bunker, we may see some record-setting times. But alternatively, if they don't get that good spawn RNG, we could see teams that really struggle to break their way into Armory potentially run into each other on the way there. And so it's really up in the air for results on how these teams have an opportunity to get into bunker even in the first place. And so we're going to show a game recap here from Valley, see some of the high points of the action on that map, and then we will get into Armory as these teams are getting ready for their next match. Hitman, have you been excited about these games so far? I don't think I've seen any more entertaining gameplay than we've seen in this event yet in Arena Breakout.
Yeah, I agree. I thought last week was going to be like the top of the top because we all the pro players playing and it was incredibly close. But today has blew my expectations out of the water. I was going to say out of the wilds. I don't think that was the right term, but out of the water. But yeah, I want to circle back to the strategy just because I think Sade's got such a huge advantage. I may personally think I would go for a safer, longer extraction of 10 minutes, maybe 11 minutes. And then with the last game, try to focus on a fast extraction to beat that time, because you don't want to get into a situation where you might get unlucky and face a team and then keep dying and then not get the extraction and you have a chance to lose. If you go for that safe extraction in the beginning, you get the guaranteed 23 points. Nobody can beat you. And then you can win that. But we're going to take a look at that recap. Look at that ice stream.
Look
at
that
God.
Result. So what we saw in Valley, Sade with a 30-minute finish time. So let's explain that. You see Sade with a 30-minute finish time, but it seems like he would have a qualified breakout value. That is a result of the adjustment in rules. In his hurry to get to that extraction point and get enough loot value, unfortunately, what happened was he picked up an item that one of his teammates had looted, which disqualified that time. So what we see going into the next game is that Sade now in a position where he has to absolutely race to be able to keep his time, because now Sade and Ice Stream are within seconds of each other. That adjustment to the rules demanding that the team captain be the person who loots that item value. And then the mix-up as he was heading to the extraction, picking up an item that his teammate had looted, yeah, that is going to disqualify his extraction there. And now we have what is effectively an even field across the board. Very little difference in time between these teams going into Armory. Hitman, that's a tough outcome for Sade when it comes to the details here. Let's look at some of these highlights.
Yeah, right here, Sade. This is where he gets shot by Kiwi and absolutely gets destroyed. And Ice right here picking up a bit of that loot, going to get that one tap here. That was a hip fire. The hip fire in this game is actually incredible. And you can see here, that's his first extract here. And we thought already 8 minutes. It's incredible with that. Almost 1 million. Picking up that thermal will help that there. And look, Mod6, if I told you that going into the last map, that Fab is the team that is leading, would you have believed me? Maybe not. But this is what's happening right now.
Absolutely not. Here's the thing, man. I played with Fab, and so I know that he's a skilled player, and that's no indication. My disbelief in this situation is no indication of his. I mean, we see right here as he takes down the high-geared player, that is a crazy gunfight, but he had perfect cover. And then unfortunately, as he moved forward to try and finish the kill, he was taken out from behind. But Fab making great decisions in these gunfights. But the thing is, man, he's the one who's least experienced on these maps, just purely from a time in game standpoint. And so to see him potentially leading the competition going into the last map is crazy. And it shows, you know, if you've got the experience in this game, you can have great results.
Oh, we made it. We made it. We made it.
As you mentioned, this is going to be an incredibly close last one. I try to remember the scoring, and I believe it goes like this. First place Fab, second place IMO, third place it's going to be Sade, and in last place it's going to be Ice Stream. However, like I've mentioned, storyline-wise, it's probably one of the most incredible storyline, as we have being in second place, but not with the best time. He got a sub 13 minutes, and then also probably a 10 minutes for the first one. Fab's got an incredible first one, but his gun skills not as good as the other one, despite him having knowledge in Tarkov. That does transition a bit in here, doesn't know the map as well. Then you have Ice Stream, who had an incredible value run, probably the worst farm run. And then you have Sade in the opposite, an incredible farm run and a terrible value run, making these last two space teams fight it out. And then honestly, it could be anyone's game. And here is a situation where I talked about potentially playing it safe. Fab, I can see him being that player that wants to go for a safer extraction and not go for that armory part, the heavy part in the middle bottom side of the map. So we'll see how this plays out, Mod. I'm excited for this last map.
And this is, I think, our last set of codes where you can redeem right off the screen. We've got 5 more redemption codes for those bundles. You've got to be quick to be the first person to get in there, redeem that code, and get those bundles. So put that in on your screen now. And yeah, I agree, Hitman. The game is as close as it could possibly be, and it's all going to come down to decision making on this map for Armory, because we have 4 teams, you know, all within range of potentially winning this competition. And Sade's, the crazy thing here, and this is a testament to that first map, is Sade's 30-minute time on Valley doesn't take him out of the competition. And then Ice Stream's 5-minute and 5-second time on Valley pulls him right back into the competition. So going into Armory, this is the first time in this triathlon series where we see that it could legitimately be anyone's game. And if we see gunfights between these teams in the same game on the same map on Armory, that gunfight could be what determines the final outcome. So this entire competition here, the entire triathlon series, the Founders Night, could feasibly come down to a single gunfight at the extraction point on Armory. So we're going to get into Armory now and see if we hit any of those high points, if we see some contentious gunfights in the bunker. Hitman, I'm excited. Let's get into the game and see these players as they go for the fastest extraction possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Armory, where dreams are made or nurtured. One team will come out of this victorious and become the winner on Founders Night. Anybody can take it, but who will come out of here victorious? Let's jump into our final game of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Mod 6, we are watching Fab TV, the #1 place. What do you expect from him?
Thing, man, if I'm Fab TV right now, I am racing to bunker. You have 30 minutes and you can get quite a few Armory games in. Fab TV in the lead, potentially as surprised as any of us that he is in the lead of this competition going into Armory, given that he is the least experienced player on mobile. But that Tarkov knowledge clearly coming into play here, and he has put a lot of practice time in. He should know at this point that he has got to get that entrance into bunker to really guarantee. But we see him picking up a couple of items. You'll recognize those items. They say they're uninspected here, but that's a blue laser worth 1,000, and this is another skeletal AR grip that's worth a couple thousand. So he's picking up some loot on the way in, but it's really about getting a foothold, breaching that bunker, and securing some safety inside that building. We see IMO also moving across the map, getting one of the farther spawn points away, engaging another team here with the IND-70 helmet. He's got plenty of accuracy, and you see how the armor comes into effect as he finally downs that player. IMO potentially downing another player in this competition, but at least another TAC Ops player on Armory. That helmet alone is a potential of 180,000 in loot value. That one kill could be all Team IMO needs to qualify that extraction. 2 minutes into this game, and he may be making decisions about what extraction point to take. Hitman, this could be a crazy result to start our Armory game only 2 minutes in.
Yeah, I was actually shocked. It's first place and second place is closer than I expected. I think it's 2 minutes or so. And I don't... Was that another team fight? I think it was Sade's team. If you look at the direction that they're shooting at, it might be Sade's team versus one of the players are knocked. So we did ask for a last game with multiple, but we'll see. We'll find out in a second. Maybe, maybe not. I'm taking a look at the chat. Someone said no. But, I mean, yeah, at this point, IMO, if you can get this quick extraction, that'd be huge.
And here's the thing. We have the potential that we have players on slightly different delays, and so you can't bet entirely on the remaining time as you look across players to really gauge and use that as your only way to see if we have these teams in the same lobby. And so we may be seeing Team IMO versus Team Sade, but what we definitely are seeing is both IMO and Sade having to fight with other geared up TAC Ops teams in the gunfight, managing their heals, managing their painkillers, and now you see the grenades. This is what I'm talking about. You're seeing that's 4 grenades from his team, 5 grenades, 4 of which came from Sade. Sade throws his 5th grenade in that situation there while he's got other teammates launching grenades as well. You see this team throw nearly 10 grenades, and then look at IMO's team with the grenades. This is what we expect to see on Armory. Dealing with that many grenades and that maneuver requirement just to stay alive is crazy. IMO here with the wrap left.
They're fighting. They have to be, right? It just... It looks perfect. Like the angle, the fences. But I don't know. Apparently also, I'm cutting you off, but Ice got a teapot and they're extracting right now. Apparently.
Yep.
I don't know if that's true or not. That's what
chat watching Ice Stream's stream. It looks like Ice Stream is going to be getting in his first inspection. And Sade goes down. Sade goes down. This might be IMO that takes him down here. Let's take a look at IMO's perspective on this gunfight. He's edging his way around the corner and then gets flashed. IMO gets flashed, grenades coming in, taking damage. 4 limbs broken, barely able to move as he deals with that flashbang, hitting the meds just to try and stay alive in this gunfight. This is the intensity we expect from Armory. Let's listen into IMO in this stressful situation and get some volume on that in-game chat.
I'm behind you. I'm behind you.
Yeah, keep looking for me. Keep looking.
I'm looking. I'm throwing nades. Fuck it.
I'm healing. That hit him. That hit him.
Nice.
Where is he? Where is he? I need all.
Right, yeah. He's on the other side of the fence. 335. He's still there. He's running.
Everything broken. I have everything broken.
I think he's dead.
Hold on a minute. I think he might still be there. Just be careful.
That may be the teammate of Owen killing Sade in that moment when you hear the shots, you hear him say, I think he's dead. I think that was the moment we saw from Sade's perspective earlier. It looks like Team IMO able to take down Sade while IMO struggling here. I mean, practically doing surgery in the OR. And we see IMO's teammate go down in the open.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's not good. I would love to see the extraction from Ice. If we can catch that, that would be great. But this fight right here, it seems like it is actually the fight between both teams. I mean, I think so. We can never tell. I can't even see the kill board, but we'll see. It looks like there should be able to get the revive off this by maybe some nade. But I think Team IMO is the one to kill Sade. This is exactly what I expected. I didn't expect the fight to be here, though. I expected it to be in the bunker, to be honest. Revive's going to come in here, but this is huge because Sade's team is not wiped out, nor is IMO's team, meaning that the time for both these teams is going to be long. So we'll see how this plays out, as I think Team Ice team was able to get... If Ice...
At this point, Hitman, if your team Sade and Sade is down, Sade is dead, they need to either rush in and cause as much havoc for Team IMO as possible, or get off the map and get back into another game here, because Sade is the one who needs to extract with that value in order for it to qualify. And so right now, if Sade's team is not going to be able to do anything with this map, if they stay engaged here, sure, they could be delaying IMO, but they're delaying their own team leader as well. So they either need to rush in and resolve this gunfight or get off the map some other way in order to rejoin their team leader and get back in here. So this is the most intense gunfight we've seen. But if you notice the time ticking down for Team IMO, he sees some movement here in the distance.
Yeah, I mean, these shots are coming in. Oh my God, he got shot to the head, giving at that helmet on. Oh my God, that is incredible.
You see the shattered glass. This is a crazy gunfight for these guys. Let's see if we can do a listen in again and hear how they communicate to deal with this pressure.
Yeah, they're focusing.
It's not from radar. It's not from radar.
Yeah, he's on the tank by medical. I said this.
Yeah, I've hit him. I've killed one. There's one's gone behind the medical tents.
I'm healing.
I'm running back.
I need to reload though.
I've got no heals, by the way, guys.
Yep.
Have you got heals?
To fix everything, bro.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in this situation, if I was IMO, I would probably try to run away and just maybe just extract low on health, low on meds. I don't know what much they can do. I mean, they're just wasting time. The more they're waiting, the more time the other team has. Not just Sage, you remember, right? Fab and also Ice is in the tournament. Ice, look at his 40-minute total. He was able to extract a 5-minute extraction. We're not waiting on Fab TV, see if we can get this extraction. And if we can get that, that's going to be huge. Like, think about it this way. Right now, Sage and IMO are getting into that 10-minute extraction. Ice Stream had a 40. Which, you know, you might think about it, oh, it's not that great. But if you compare the situation everyone is in, and Fab right now is currently in the bunker. Do they have enough loot? I think they will after picking up that.
He just golden cheetah. Fab able to loot the golden cheetah right there. That golden cheetah is, I believe, at a minimum 65k, but we're going to see the inspect right now. 35,000. Multiple gold items though. He's got the reel. He's got the gold coin as well. So Fab TV having to do some math in his head, but he may have the required loot amount as he moves through here. And he's 10 minutes in right now. If Fab TV is able to extract in the next 8 or 9 minutes, he still maintains the lead. So of all the teams in this game right now, Fab TV, the only one to make a successful entrance into bunker, potentially Ice Cream, he might have gotten into bunker as well, but Fab TV not under too much pressure as we see Sade back in his next game with his team in a gunfight, likely just dealing with some guards here. They're letting loose quite a few grenades though, so this may be another team. Sade still absolutely in the game.
Yeah, he does need a sub 6 minute just for the chance to win this. As you can see he's about 6 minutes away from Ice's one, but oh my God, it's possible to get a sub 5 as we saw earlier. And I said that I believe that somebody's going to break the record of a sub 5, and this would be the perfect time to do it, breaking sub 5 being Ice Stream, because right now Ice Stream is beating Sage. However, we're just waiting on I'm Out as well as Fab TVs, and Fab actually looking at his loot, we saw potentially that he had good enough loot. So if, like he said, if he can get in within those next 5 minutes, he's in a good spot to win it today. It just all depends on Mimo.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're seeing here now Ice Stream has gotten a foothold. He's gained his foothold in bunker, and he is potentially trying to get through here safely, but his team's stacked up on this door. One grenade takes them out, so they're going to need to really be careful. We have the power tool, the rebar cutter, the watch right now in Ice Stream's inventory. Interested to see if he's got enough time. He may have just had a teammate go down.
I think so. I mean, Ice is the one sitting behind. They're just the team is just pushing in, try to kill people, find loot, and letting Ice pick it up. They're playing very smart, not letting Ice get into a fight, which is smart because they know that he's the one who has to pick up the loot, has to extract. But again, such a fast first extraction. They're just trying to beat that 5, which the record right now is 4 minutes and 90 seconds. So if he can beat that, that would be incredible. But they're already inside. They just got to find that loot. Let's see if he gets anything good.
Yeah, let's listen in on iStream's team for how they manage this loot and this gunfight. Got the porcelain there for iStream. Now we're with IMO struggling. IMO nearly dead in this gunfight. Down to 23 minutes remaining here. It looks like they finally finished potentially killing the last player in that fight now. And IMO desperately trying to get healthy again so that he's able to continue his movement and potentially make it to the extraction.
My goodness, this is going to be incredible. Apparently, Sade versus Ice again. That's going to be super, super close. But yeah, I mean, IMO being kept held by another random team, it looks like, is going to be huge for the lobby because right now they're already at 13 minutes. And if they don't get within that 20 minutes, and at this rate, it doesn't look like it's going to be able to because no meds, you know, it's going to be tough for this team. And that kind of opens the gate for everybody, but especially Fab, who are looking to potentially at least get to their extraction right now. And iStream right now are already in Armory with Steve. Yeah.
Hitman, we're getting an update here. It looks like we may have Ice and Sade in the same match. And then earlier, when we saw Sade go down, that was Wolf from IMO's team that killed Sade. So we have Sade dying to another player in this competition for the third time now. And before we even started, we had people in the chat saying, don't sleep on Wolf. Wolf's got a chance to be the MVP here. In Armory, Wolf able to drop Sade, which may just be what gives iStream the opportunity to take the lead here. So there are plenty of things that can happen here. Ice being able to get into some of these high value loot rooms and pick up this loot. But if we see Ice and Sade get into a gunfight together with Ice already in bunker and Sade moving in that direction, we could see just more and more frustration for Sade trying to make his way towards a successful extraction here and claw his way back into the running.
Still trying to kill boss. So.
I think, unfortunately, with the timing, there's already 6 minute pass for Sade. Even if he does get the successful extraction, which takes about a minute, it's gonna be it's not gonna be enough for that timing since we had an incredible fast extraction from Ice. He needs to get a sub-6. Fab right now still getting to fight, trying to get to this extraction, but he's taken down. Oh. That's what I talked about, right? Earlier, we talked about how this is super hard, a lot of gunfights, and he's not as good as all these other players. So this could cause them to potentially not win that first place finish and open it up for iStream, who's trying to get a second fast extraction. But at this rate, they're not going to beat their 5.5 seconds here.
Monarch, you don't need
Who's Sade's gonna extract here?
We have Sade on the extraction. Let's see if he has the loot value that he needs. A 6 minute and 1 second extraction for Sade. Does he have the 300k that he needs?
I don't think so.
This pulls him right back into running if he's able to.
Let's find out, because I think they purposely did it. Oh, they did!
He does!
Oh!
383,000 on this extraction. 6 minute and 1 second extraction time. If that extraction time is fully qualified, Sade back into the running here. It's still iStream with 5 minutes and 5 seconds on his first extraction, and now locking in, about to lock in a second extraction, likely going to be slightly slower. But iStream proving his experience on this Armory map. You see Ice, he's got the Arena Breakout helmet on in his camera here. He is locked in. He is deadly serious, and he is executing his second successful extraction. First team on Armory to get a second extraction in with plenty of time for a third game. iStream can get into a third game, hope he queues into another team, and absolutely ruin someone's day.
I think that Ice is in the lead still because of that 505 extraction. We'll see in a second, because if I remember the calculation, the value was super fast, but I think the value was not 30 seconds faster than the one that Sade did. We'll find out. The admins will calculate that.
They're about a minute slower. Ice was about a minute slower on Valley than Sade was on Farm, so they are super, super close. IMO here, sorting through his equipment.
They just did an army run in 6 minutes.
It looks like IMO is actually in his pre-game lobby screen, prepping for his next mission, making sure he has all of his gear ready to go. You see Imo's weapon of choice here, the H416. All of these players nearly with the IND-70 tactical helmet and the GS2 headset. There's a reason for those specific two gear choices. That IND-70 tactical helmet is the only helmet that is, or it's the helmet that has face coverage, ear coverage, and full head coverage with a minimum in movement speed drop. You see Fab with a different choice, his helmet and visor. Fab going for lower level armor, actually some of the lowest level armor we've seen in this game, choosing to spend his money in this game on keys instead. So Fab really just kind of working with what he has, being absolutely competitive, going into Armory in the lead while using what is essentially entry-level guns and armor. That's pretty incredible.
I think that's come to the prep. If you would have prepped a little bit earlier, you could have had the armor set up. You don't have to spend the time buying right now. We can tell he's spending quite a bit of time, and he's only got 13 minutes to get into a game and finish it. And we saw Fab is right now on that 30 minutes. So we'll see if he can complete the extraction at all. He will win today. He will win right now if he can complete the extraction at all. However, as you see right now, Ice is leading by 9 seconds. Mod, 9 seconds lead for him. But Imo still got a chance. Imo's got to complete it. It's gonna be tough.
To imagine Ice Stream with a 30-minute extract on the first map, an unqualified extract, so a 30-minute time. He has now crawled his way back into third place. He is on the leaderboard right now. Ice Stream is winning this entire event, right? Fab TV and Imo do not have qualified extraction times unless I'm mistaken here. And Ice Stream with 40 minutes and 50 seconds of total time is 9 seconds ahead of Team Sade. There is a real opportunity.
I'm cutting you off for a second, okay? There's a chance that all 4 teams get into the same lobby because they're all queuing up at the same time. This is going to be insane. Mod 6, I'm sorry I cut you off for that, but this might be the most incredible 11 minutes ever.
It might. Are they organizing this team-on-team fight for the last? Because it's almost like they're coordinated, queuing into this game at the same time. If we see a 4-way fight on the same map, that will be the most insanity we could possibly find in Arena Breakout right now.
Come on, get into the game already!
We're about to see
get in
showdown.
Yeah.
All right, all of these teams now loading into this game.
He sent me a DM asking you to look at your donations.
Who's in my DM?
We have Ice and Sade queuing into this game. Imo queuing into this game. Fab also we saw. He is now also queuing into this game. We have all 4 of these teams queuing into the game at the same time, maximizing the likelihood we see teams cross paths. 10 minutes left in this event. Quite literally, any one of these teams win this game right now. Now remember, these stream delays are slightly off, so even if you see it hasn't started the game yet and another that's already in, we still have the likelihood that they could be the same lobby. Team Sade picking up a couple of hive items early here. As they make their way, they're making the decision right now to head straight towards bunker. Really what it comes down to is if we have these teams in the same lobby, whoever is able to establish a foothold in bunker, to get there safely is going to have a huge advantage. Looks like the chat is saying we have Sade and Ice in the same lobby again. And this is, I mean, that's the showdown we want to see, right? The 2 teams with qualified extraction times already 9 seconds apart from each other, potentially in a showdown that comes down to one gunfight to determine who wins this game.
Mod 6, I'm telling you right now, the team right now that has the advantage is Fab as well as Imo, since they have the better time. If I was any of those 2 teams, I would again, I keep saying this, but I would try to avoid bunker and get at least safe extract within an 8-minute. Fab right now going into the fight, they're also going to bunker. So it looks like everybody is going to bunker, including, so it looks like they might all be in this bunker area. Shots getting behind. I don't know who's shooting at them, but oh my goodness, this is going to be an incredibly close game as everybody is starting going to bunker. Not a great start for I'm Out, as getting shot in the back is the last thing you want to happen to you, right, Mod 6?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all 4 of these teams are trying to head towards bunker, and all 4 teams in gunfights on the way there. We're pretty sure we've got at least a couple of these teams in the same lobby with each other. And so this is about the most struggle you can imagine to face in Armory as you approach bunker. One of the most highly competitive games we see, as they just leaning around the edge. They're able to take out another player.
I have tier 6 on me.
Let's listen in on this team's comms.
He's on the sniper.
It's just here. There's 1v2 now.
All that?
One's on the stairs. Yeah. One's on the stairs and one in front of you. You can still win that. The guy on the stairs was 1 HP.
There's another team, that's the problem.
I can reset it.
They're making some decisions here to pull back out of that gunfight after they take care of some of the threat. Sade maneuvering around here to get into position to potentially move towards bunker or just check the backside of their position.
Yeah, fighting that was important, kind of.
Yeah, and also I want to keep in mind that I'm Out as well as Fab, although they have an advantage when it comes to if they extract, they can win, have not extracted at all. Meaning, if they fail to extract within that 7-minute time frame, they will get a 30 minutes, meaning that Ice doesn't need to win this, but it looks like they're going for extra. Ice? Whoa, wait. There's no way he's got enough loot already and it's extracting. That would be a sub 4-minute extract. We'll find out in a second here. Oh my God, Mod.
We have Sade in the same position here. They're both in radar. If Ice and Sade are in the same position, we may see Sade run down on Ice. Did Sade just kill Ice? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Oh, Sade drops Ice on the extraction. Sade playing spoiler. Ice Stream potentially getting a faster extraction than his first one. Team Sade potentially able to loot here. And if he activates the extraction point fast enough, he basically steals all of Ice's loot and his extraction point in one gunfight. This could be it. This could be Sade taking back those 9 seconds.
That would have been sad if we didn't take that.
Yeah, he's got to start extraction now. Doesn't have the item yet to do it. We're taking a look at I'm Out, who's inside the bunker. He's got to get enough loot, got to activate it so they can get in there. He's still got 6 minutes, so still plenty of time since he's already inside. Oh my God, that is huge that Sade killed Ice there. We'll find out in a second if they can win from this. Let's see what happens.
Oh, you hear Sade with the celebration, realizing he was able to kill Ice Stream there. What he may not have realized now is that without an activation on this extraction point, all he did was play spoiler for Ice, widening the gap. He won't close the gap unless he also gets a successful extraction faster, 9 seconds or more faster than his previous extraction time. And so right now, IMO with the absolute best chance to play spoiler here. He's in the bunker. He's got access to safes, and all he has to do is activate an extraction point.
Yeah, so it was 6 minutes and 6 seconds. So to win, he's got to have a 5 minute and 54 seconds, we'll say, to win. At the rate right now, he's not going to get it unless he can get that fast extraction. But at the rate that he's going right now, it doesn't look like it. So when he was saying he won, it might have bit him in the butt, because at this rate, it doesn't look like he has won yet. But we will find out. Time will tell. Fab is also in the bunker. Owen's also in the bunker. But Fab's getting into a fight already. Don't get killed and extract, and you can win this, Fab.
This could be a gunfight between Team Owen and Team Fab TV, and if so, basically the winner of this gunfight has an opportunity to spoil the standings where they are right now. If Fab TV wins and extracts, or if Owen wins and extracts, either one of them with a successful extraction would immediately take the lead and take the win for the Triathlon Series Founders Night. We see Fab activating that key card to get one of the highest value loot room in Armory, This could be all he needs. With the typewriter and the tank already there, he's got an opportunity to pick up a couple of high-value items, high-value weapons here. He can probably drop that M96 and pick up the H416 that's on the wall. And so, Fab TV making some loot decisions.
You went crazy. Did you see
Zayd
that?
now, pretty excited about his gunfight win, but it may not be enough time. He's getting the he's headed to the extraction right now. Activated the extraction with 10 seconds. We're gonna see what his time and loot are. But unless he is 9 seconds faster than earlier, he is not going to have a time fast enough.
No.
7:05 is not going to get it done.
Dang, I was rooting for Ice to get that record-breaking time. But we'll see if there was enough time on that extraction, and the result does not say that. And also, we'll see if got enough money, right?
And as a reminder to the viewers, I've seen some questions. For this format, these players, no loot value there, just extracting Zayd to get out of this game. He's not going to have enough time to get into another one. But this format is 3 30-minute segments, 30 minutes on farm, 30 minutes on valley, 30 minutes on armory. In order to qualify your extraction time, you had to get 100,000 coin loot on farm, 200,000 coin loot on valley, and 300,000 coin loot on armory. It has to be looted by the team leader and extracted by the team leader in order to qualify. And what we've seen are that several teams so far, iStream on farm and Zayd on valley, not getting qualified times and being stuck with that 30-minute max timer. And so Fab TV, if he's able to successfully extract here with value, Fab TV, the PC player, having the potential to take this competition in the next 13 seconds. But he's going to have 10 seconds on the countdown timer on the extraction point, which he has plenty of time, barely making it in there in time. Does he have the loot value? Fab TV could play spoiler here and take this entire event from the mobile players.
Okay, 8 minutes, that's good. Drum roll. Come on. I'm rooting for you, Fab. Let's see what happened here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, no!
Falling short by 42,000 coin is not going to qualify the extraction.
We might have had enough on that last one.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna be it. I do not know if O got an extraction. So if we look at the information, it's Ice or Owen right now, because Fab's team is gonna get last place with that. Zayd's gonna be third. We'll see what happens between Ice and O, teammates in the Chinese Arena Breakout tournament we saw a few weeks back. This is gonna be an incredible storyline if iStream wins this. Oh my goodness. I could not ask for a better ending to this tournament. Am I right, Mod6?
Absolutely the most exciting way we could see a last game on Armory. We saw multiple teams in the same lobby with each other. iStream trying to set records with that extraction, and Zayd absolutely spoiling it for him. But even though he spoiled that extraction and wiped iStream's team, he lost 3 players, got 0 loot value, and was not able to extract in time to improve his own score. Fab making the best possible effort to play spoiler and win this event as the least experienced mobile player. I can't even believe it came down to the last couple of seconds there. The most exciting ending we could have possibly imagined. And we are going to get some score updates here, but it may very well be that iStream, a 30-minute unqualified extraction on the first game, could potentially come all the way from behind and win this event overall. We are about to see the final scores here, and Hitman, this has absolutely been a roller coaster of emotions.
I was saying that when, sorry, Zayd, I may have jinxed you when I said who's playing for second place now, because we're saying that you're going to win that, but we're going to see what happens here, as there is incredible storyline up to Sade not being able to get any points or getting that 30 minutes into this Valley game and then having an incredible comeback by Ice. On the bright side, Sade, you're gonna get Ice's dog tags as a participation medal. So I hope that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely incredible result. And you heard, even though Sade unable to get the successful extraction, you heard the satisfaction in his voice on those in-game comms the moment he pulled up those dog tags. And that's one of the unique features here in this game of Arena Breakout, is when you're able to get that kill, you see who you killed on those dog tags. And the final result, Icestream with the win. The most unlikely result after the farm map iteration.
Wait, that's a recap.
Oh my goodness. Getting me too excited here. We have Icestream winning the Armory map. Look at that loot value on Armory. 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we see Fab TV and IMO. That's what we were looking for, is IMO, whether he got a qualified extraction. We see 30 minutes. A difference of only 16 seconds between Icestream and Sade, and we're going to get the final results here. But I think if our math is correct, we might see the most unbelievable result for the final on this event. We have a game recap here for Armory, and the scores are surprising. The constant gunfights in those final maps. Insane.
Yeah,
let's look
take a look at the
highlights
before you today. Yeah, this is the beginning of the fight that we're talking about. IMO versus Sade's team literally cost both of them, as IMO was there for 20 minutes. Again, the situation with that, maybe run away here. Sade's, look at all those nades, as we said, right? Like, it didn't look like it, but the area just looked too similar. We asked for fights between two teams. Today was the best day for that. IMO getting flashed here, getting shot, getting taken out. What an incredible run here for all of these teams. I think today was the only day that we saw all four teams were able to win it. Mod 6, what a great Armory game.
Well, like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely wild how these results can swing. And we see that 6 minute and 1 second extraction there. And, you know, when you get bogged down in a gunfight on Armory, we saw absolute excellence in the marksmanship from Team IMO as well as Team Sade, but you see Kiwi multiple times taking down other members of other teams, Wolf taking down teams, and then we saw Sade absolutely rolling down the stairs there and ruining Icestream's extraction with only seconds left. A wild result, and then Sade's final extraction after that.
Yeah, I mean, that was such an incredible time. Let's jump into it. Wow.
Oh, dude, 258K.
No.
And here we have the final result. This is what I was getting excited about earlier. We saw the most unlikely comeback from Team Icestream and some wild loot numbers in the overall. Icestream with a 30-minute time in the first map, the worst time you can possibly score on farm, able to get his last two extractions in a combined 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Fab TV almost able to play spoiler at the very end. Hitman, could you have ever predicted this final result?
No, I could not, but we said that if there was a way for Ice to win, you would need everyone else to get a 30-minute run, and that is exactly what happened. Not only that, he averaged about 6 minutes, let's call it 5.5 minutes per run on every other map. That is incredible. We were talking about last week, 8 minutes per run is incredible. Here, you had to get 6 minutes if you wanted to win. And my goodness, Icestream, you have clutched it out, and thank you guys, all four of you guys, honestly, played incredible. Icestream, Sade, Fab TV, and IMO, making this the best. And like they said, they saved best for last. And oh my goodness, that was incredible, right, Mod 6?
Yeah, absolutely wild. I can't wait until we get a chance to talk to iStream. We're going to get a chance to interview him here in just a moment. I have an immediate question for him. I think you all know what it will be, but we are kicking it to iStream for this interview. And let's see how he feels here with the unpredictable comeback. Ready?
Let's get him in.
Ready for iStream. And I'm excited. Let's see how excited iStream is with that win. Ice, look at the man! Unlikely result at the end here. iStream, talk to us about the team's mentality after farm. That was absolutely wild, my man. How do you feel coming back from last place in game one? What was the mentality of the team getting into that second game? How'd you pull it back?
As this is literally life motto, guys. It's not over until the fat lady sings. So these hardships make you adjust, make you wake up to the situation. So when we did that, we were like, yeah, we got this, guys, we got this. And then we had that really bad first run, and we were like, oh god, this is reality. We need to work. So at one point, I was like, are we still gonna win this? Do we still bother? But then I had to switch. I knew I had to switch it. I need to switch back on. And I told my team, guys, it's not over yet. Even if we actually lose, let's go out with a bang and give them a really good Valley session, really good Armory session. And who knows, man, who knows? We can still win this thing. It's not over. If the teams fail to do their runs, their extracts, then we're back in the game. And then the Valley run that we had, the super strong Valley run that we had, really crushed it for us. And then the Armory, we live in Armory. We sleep in Armory. We eat in Armory. So we were just waiting to get a really good game in Valley, and then as soon as we got to Armory, we knew that we had it on lockdown.
Yeah, incredible teamwork, incredible run by you and your entire team. And thank you guys for making this so entertaining. And I'm just happy that there was multiple teams in this tournament playing in the same map. And speaking on that, let's talk about that final kill cam. You know which one I'm talking about, right? Said thought he won after killing you. Did you think you lost after you died at that extraction point?
No, because when I was at the extract, I was paying attention to the extract time, and I knew that he couldn't leave from that extract because he didn't make it. He didn't make the extract closing time. So I knew that he would have had to go somewhere else. Now, he had three options. The no backpack extract that he has to run to, the bunker extract downstairs, which is going to be a pain to get to, and the mine extract up north, which is going to take a long time to get out of. So I knew that he wasn't going to come, extract with a sub 5-7 minute extract. So I knew as soon as he killed me, my job there was done, and we had a really strong previous Armory run. So I was pretty confident. It was a bit unfortunate that he killed me. I had a nice 1v2 there, and I knew he was gonna jump, but unfortunately, my arms and my abdomen were broken. I think my abdomen were broken too, and I got hit on those body parts. So the damage spread to my vitals quicker, and it dropped me quicker. I think I actually hit him first, but to answer your question, nah, there was no way that Said was gonna do a quick enough extract after he killed me, so I wasn't bothered.
Yeah, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you see from iStream on the regular, is that attention to detail and that in-game knowledge leading the way. This is one of those games where you have to get into those details to understand all of those factors. We were sitting there waiting, thinking, oh my gosh, is Said gonna have a chance to extract? iStream knew the whole time. Ice, congratulations on the win. Demonstrating that attention to detail and in-game knowledge will carry you through even with a slow start. We couldn't have a more exciting finish, and thanks for joining us and providing the abundance of entertainment value that we always see from our boy Ice.
I did say I'm here to entertain. I wasn't here to compete as such. My thing is to entertain, and I hope we did just that. I couldn't have done it without my teammates. So thank you, Delta, Kiwi, and King. You guys are the absolute bomb. Rich Kings, baby, let's get it.
That's exciting. Exciting result from Ice Stream. He dances us into the interview and he takes the win at the end of the day. Hitman, we've had one of the most exciting events possible. Ice Stream, we appreciate you joining us for the interview. Go celebrate with the team and give those guys the congratulations. Like Ice Stream mentioned, this is a team effort in this game, and having those clutch teammates really improves your opportunity to win. You got any final comments before we cut back and do our draw for these in-game bundles for our viewers, Ice?
Enjoy the game, guys. It is a very tough game. There's going to be a lot of stress. There's going to be a lot of up and downs. But at the end of the day, it's a game. It's pixels. If you lose guns, you can get another one back. Just enjoy the game for what it offers. It's absolutely unique. It's intense. Every single fight is different. So just take the stress away and just remember it's a game. You're supposed to have fun. So when you're starting to get stressed, either take a break or do something funny in the game, like grenades only challenge or something like that. So enjoy the game, guys.
Awesome. Well, great comments from Ice. Thanks for the interview, and Ice leaving us with some life philosophy on being able to get back in there and regain the momentum. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get back to our final results and our drawing for the last couple of codes. Appreciate it, Ice. Well done.
Peace.
Yes,
Ice, always the
was
most entertaining in these interviews, and always brings that energy and the fun. And Hitman, that in-game knowledge led the day.
Yeah, I was still rooting for him to get that. I think he needed, what, like 5 more seconds to get that extract? But yeah, you can see he's a player with much knowledge. You can see in all those videos, his tips and tricks videos, that he has grinded this game and knows a lot, no matter what games he's played. Very knowledgeable, and it shows. He was able to win, kept calm, able to get his team, and his team being such, like we talked about, right? Kiwi able to kill almost every other streamer on the team. Make it incredible. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we do still have our final draws coming in. We're going to be doing the little roulette. But Mod6, it was an incredible run. I don't think we could have asked for a closer tournament. Week 1, you know, it was pretty, I would say, pretty one-sided. Week 2, it was a 2-man race, and week 3 was a race to the top. Anybody could have won. Anybody had a chance, and it all came to the last minute. Whoever wanted it more, and Ice Stream wanted it more.
Yeah, absolutely. And really what that is we saw the progression through these 3 weeks that is kind of the natural progression of the normal player in these games, right? In week 1, we saw teams, some struggling to get extracts at all, some struggling with the how to figure out armory and where those high loot areas were. In week 2, we saw everyone had figured out the gunfight. These pro players were ready to go, had no deaths almost, but did run into some issues with the time and their ability to hit that loot value in some cases. And then in week 3, all of that comes together with our Founders Night, these players with the most in-game knowledge and the most experience in Arena Breakout and extraction shooters. And that's where we saw teams fighting each other and that razor's edge of efficiency in getting off the map with the fastest possible time. So exciting. It was a great event, and these are our last 5 redemption codes on the screen for fast redemption. Get those codes, be the first one to put one of those codes in game, and you will get those bundles. These are our last 5 codes of the stream. We thank everybody for joining us today. If you get those codes, get in the game. Hitman and I, as well as all of the players you saw today, are actively playing this game, Arena Breakout. You will find us on our streams. You'll find all of these players on their channels. I would encourage you to go watch these players' streams and ask to join the games. All of the people you saw playing today are regularly playing games with viewers and inviting people to join them in this awesome experience with Arena Breakout. Hitman, thanks for joining us today, and thank you to Arena Breakout and the production team for an awesome event. Couldn't imagine a more fun event for this game this early after global launch.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Great time. Did not expect this to be such a close and entertaining tournament, and blew my mind. Again, shout out to everybody for watching. Shout out to, again, the staff, and you guys are great. That is us signing out, and don't forget to have fun, guys, while playing, and we'll see you guys.
Thanks for joining us. Most fun game we've got right now. And thanks to the production team. We'll head out now.